Hello everyone, welcome to What If Deku Was Reborn as Issei in Highschool DxD Part 4, Chapter 33, Izuku's Path. Bang bang, the sound of the start of the ball tournament echoed in the sky. From today's weather broadcast, it's going to rain in the evening. Please don't rain until the tournament finishes. Tsukumoto-kun of the Manga Research Club, Hashioka-sensei is calling you. Can you please come to the teacher's room immediately? The PA which was placed throughout the school ground was making announcements endlessly. All of us members got changed into our PE uniform and gathered at one place and were resting up till the start of the match. But the club matches were at the end. First of all, there were the class matches. I think my class is going to compete in baseball. Me and Asia also have to participate. The practice we did after school wasn't in vain. After that there was a match amongst genders. Then after lunch there was a match between clubs. I did some light exercises as a warm-up. Asia was stretching with the help of a Kendo-san. Kaneko was sitting on the plastic mattress on the ground reading the rule book for bowl games. Kiba was still thinking about something. He had been staring at the sky. Butchu went to check the category sports for the club matches. Oh, she came back. Butchu, who just came back, was smiling fearlessly. Fufufu, we have won this match already. Butchu, so what is the sports we are playing then? Dodgeball. I only had a bad feeling about this. Toshinori stopped being scared young Midoriya and just thrust through. Izuku, you do know how wrong that sounds, right? Toshinori. Izuku. I just sighed and went on to cheer for Rias from the tennis court fence. She was representing the girls of her class and was competing against other senior girls. Slam. Rias was playing around with her opponent with her smooth move, but the opponent was quite good as well. Aichu Samaya Kai. The girls were shouting with a shrill voice. Yes, Ria's opponent was none other than the student president, Sona Citri. Fufufu. It's wonderful that we can see a match between high-class devils in a place like this. The Kendo-san was also enjoying watching it beside me. It was just like she said. I never expected that there would be a match between the high-class devils here. And both of them weren't holding back. They were seriously hitting the ball with their racket. Here I come, Sona. Yes, you may, Rias. Both of them were exchanging words like that and they were both really into this match. It looked like a situation in a sports comedy manga. Even I was getting fired up just looking at them. Pichau, please win. Saji was also cheering in the fence opposite of me. He was even swinging a flag which had a writing student council on it. Wow, he's also fired up. Take this Shitori-style spin ball. The ball Kaichu had just hit went rushing towards Butchu. You are too naive, take this Gremory-style counter. Rias tried to hit it back with her racket, but the ball changed its direction and went down. Ooh, is it a magic ball? 1530. No, it's Kaichu's point. You are doing well, Sauna. To be expected from my rival. Ifufu. Rias, you haven't forgotten the promise where the loser has to pay for the udon with all the toppings at Kabushia, have you? Yes, I haven't. It will be my shame if you taste that before me. That's why I will definitely win. Did you know that I have 108 styles of magic ball? I will accept that challenge. I will hit back all the balls that come into my Shitori zone. I don't know why, but both of their eyes were burning. But princesses, why is the thing you two are betting so common? Well, maybe that's the good thing about Butchu and Kaichu. Maybe they started to have sense as human because they lived in the humans world for so long. After all, the final match between Butchu and Kaichu lasted so long that both of their rackets broke and they both got first places. Well, of course, a normal racket would break if they do an intense rally like that. Then the tournament moved to the club matches. Blue bloomers. I became shocked after seeing what Asia was wearing. It was not the school's PE uniform shorts, but a bloomer. Before the start of the club matches, Asia suddenly disappeared and when I thought she came back she was wearing a bloomer. Ooh, her white legs, her thighs. Man, she has nice legs like always. Asia was wriggling while making her face red. I took deep breaths to calm down. Deep breaths, deep breaths. I heard from Kiryu-san that the proper uniform for dodgeball is bloomer and also that Ai-san will be happy if I wore this. Kiryu, why on earth did she teach Asia this wonderful shameless thing? Shit. Kiryu's, also known as mastermind, actions are shaking my heart. You don't like it? Asia asked me with a shy voice while looking up at me. I felt something burst inside me and glass breaking and hearing Toshinori laughing inside my mindscape. No. It's great, Asia. Thank you very much. I took Asia's hand and thanked her a lot. But Asia herself didn't know what was going on. Raise your spirit up, you two. Butchu was still energetic even after that intense tennis. Well, I was also fired up. Osu, I'm getting fired up with Asia's bloomers since I'm doing it. I'm not going to lose. Good reply. Ice, I will give you a reward if you work hard. What are you serious? Rias, I felt some unknown power flowing within me. Ooh, I fuck this shit and this fixing perversion fuck. Toshinori, young Midoriya, it's okay to be perverted, there's nothing we can do. Brag. I have no words towards this. Step. Jaya, I screamed. Of course, because Asia stepped on my foot. Ai-san, how about you hand that out to everyone? Asia said it with a displeased voice. When I looked she had an unpleasant face. She was in a bad mood lately. Asia had learned how to use violence against me, but just like Asia said, there was something I had that I wanted to give to everyone. I made it last night. Everyone, let's put this as a team. What I got out was a headband, which had an embroidery Occult Research Club imprinted on it. It was handmade by me. Ara, you are well prepared. The first one to take it from me was Butchu. Yes, Ice is more skillful than I thought. It's well made, haha. I was secretly practicing. Yes, I was using my spare time to practice making it. I would say I'm pretty good with home economics. I try not to be sad, damn it, it's unexpectedly good. Kaneko said and I just smiled, thanking her, who looked at me with a glint in her eyes. Ara. Certainly the other clubs are wearing an item to symbolize the team. Like uniforms and caps. That's right, Akeno-san, that's why I also made it. Everyone took them from my hand and put them on their forehead. It made me happy. It was worth the effort making them at night. Then I gave it to Kiba, who was still acting weird. Here Kiba, yeah. Thanks. Let's concentrate on winning now. Win? Huh. Yeah, winning is important. He sounded as if he meant something. He seemed like he's lost at something. Members of the Occult Research Club and the Baseball Club. Please gather at the ground. The announcement which called for us, our battle was about to start. Aim for him, aim for Haidu. Ooh, screw you guys. I was shouting at the same time while I was dodging incredibly fast balls. The match between clubs that started the sports we had to do was Dodgeball, and our first opponent was the Baseball Club. These guys couldn't hit anyone besides me from their viewpoints. But you? One of the two great one, Isama. The really popular school idol. Can't aim for her. Bakeno-san. One of the two great Onisama. School idol. Can't aim for her. Asia. The angel and the number one beautiful girl of the second year. And also Blondie, can't aim for her. Kaneko-chan. A lowly girl who is our school mascot. You feel bad if you hit her. Kiba. Enemy of every male students in our school, but the girls will hate you if you hit him. Can't aim for him. Me? Ice. Everyone thought I don't understand why that guy belongs to the Occult Research Club. It's not a problem if you hit him. No, you have to hit him instead. Damn it. Die. Aim every ball at him, headshot, die. Die, you wild beast. I felt like I could hear their thoughts, the ultimate way to eliminate me and everyone's evil intents concentrated me from every student of this school. Till ICE. Asia Chai I and Bloomers are the best to see. Die. Please take Haidu down for Ria's Onisama's sake, for Akeno Onisama's sake. You have to bring Asia-sen back to the good side. I right, no, throw it head on. Till him die. There should be only one lolicon, and that is me. You wouldn't have gotten killed if you didn't come out. Even the crowds were telling me to die, all of their eyes were sending an intent to kill directed at me. All of the balls are concentrated towards Ice. In terms of strategy, this would be sacrifice Ice. This is a chance. Ain't no way am I gonna be a shield. But a ball aimed at me, but it was blocked by Kaneko, who then used the ball to take down the opponent in one shot. At this rate, we could get first place. The only thing left to do was for me to dodge the ball and run. When I was thinking like that, one big built baseball boy came and aimed for Kiba. Should I don't care whether I get hated, you damn handsome. That guy had so much hatred towards handsome guys that he aimed for Kiba instead of me. What are you doing gazing around for? I went towards Kiba while shouting because he was still in his own world. I stood in front of him to protect him. Ah. Ice kun. And the ball came towards me. Can't be helped. When I was thinking like that, the ball changed its direction. The ball came down like a fork ball and came into my crotch. But I blocked it just in time. This made everyone quiet until I looked at the baseball boy who threw the ball, and he felt fear when he looked into my eyes. Smash. Plus, he got hit the balls, making him hold his important part while being on the ground, and I just laughed. This is my revenge, hehehe. This is a battle of revenge for Ice. I heard from Ria's energetic and mad voice, why does she sound as if I had died? The match continued with me dodging while staying in place. The Occult Research Club wins. The good news which the announcement just made also reached my ears. This made me sigh in relief, making me sit on the ground. Izuku, that was fun. I was then suddenly being placed on someone's lap, making me look to see Asia, who was blushing. The only thing I can do is let it happen. Hearing displeased shouting from the crowd. Izuku, Ijif, now let me have this. Rain. It was raining hard outside. We were lucky that it rained after the tournament. Slap. There was also a bitter sound which echoed along with the sound of rain. But you just slapped someone. Not me. It was Kiba. How is it? Did you wake up? Ria's was quite angry. For the ball tournament, we, the Occult Research Club, got first place. Me, Asia and Kaneko went back and obtained first place as a whole team, but there was one person who didn't cooperate. I'm talking about Kiba. He did contribute a couple of times, but he was doing nothing most of the time. But you got angry at him a couple of times during the match, but he didn't seem to care. Even if he got his cheek slapped, Kiba still didn't make any expression or talked. What is this guy us doing okay? Because of the sudden change, he looked like a totally different person. He was a good-looking guy who always had a refreshing face. Then he suddenly made the usual smiley face. Are you done now? The ball tournament has finished as well. We won't be practicing anymore, so can I take a rest until it's night time? I'm a bit tired, so I will take a break from the usual club activity. I'm sorry for my behavior this noon. Seems like I didn't feel well today. Kiba, you are really weird lately. It's none of your concern. I asked him, but Kiba replied coldly with a smiley face. Even I'm getting worried about you. Worried? Who worries about who? I think it's normal for devils to live by how they want. Well, I think I'm at fault for not listening to my master this time. Maybe I should tell him a bit. But why am I supposed to do this? It's usually the other way around. I say something insane, and Kiba calms me down. It's troublesome a situation like this when we are trying to form a proper group. That's how we felt after we went through that bitter experience in the previous match, remember? Don't we have to cover for each other's weak points from now on? We are comrades. Comrades? Kiba then made a gloomy face. Yes, comrades. You are always burning ice, kun. Lately I started to remember the basic things. Basic? Yeah, that's right. The reason why I am fighting, isn't it for Butchu? That's what I thought. That's what I believed in hard. Just by my own thinking. But he rejected it immediately. No. I'm living so I can seek my revenge. Holy sword Excalibur. Destroying that is the reason why I am living. Kiba had a face with a strong determination. That time, I thought that I had seen his real face and remembering someone who had those similar eyes. Izuku, please no, don't make it a possibility please. I clenched my fist. I've already died, and I see them again. I just hope Kiba isn't going the same route as. I just shook my head. Maybe I should train more on Ofa. Chapter 34. Kiba's Pav. I'm walking without using an umbrella under the heavy rain. I think it's a good rain that can cool my head off. I had a fight with Butchu. I rebelled for the first time against my master who saved my life. It was a failure as Kiba Udo. However, I had never once forgotten my revenge towards the holy sword Excalibur. I was just getting senile with a lifestyle at school. I had made comrades, obtained a lifestyle, and received a name. I also received a purpose in life from my master, Ria's Gremory. Asking for more happiness is a bad thing. It's certainly bad. Until I achieve my purpose, I have never thought that I can continue to live on behalf of my comrades. Splash. I heard a sound of water that was different from the sound of rain. There was a priest in front of me. By hanging a cross around their neck, they speak of the holiness in the name of God that I so despise. They are one of the things I hate. The target of my hatred. I even think that I don't mind killing him if he is an exorcist. The priest has a blood patch on his stomach, and when he coughs out some blood, he falls down. Was he attacked by someone? Who? An enemy? Sensing an abnormal presence, I created a demonic sword instantly. It's a killing intent. Spark. There is a reflection of a metal under the rain, then there's a spark. When I move my body towards the place where the killing intent is coming from, there is someone wielding a long sword who comes to attack me. This person is wearing same clothes as the priest that just died front of me. A priest. Except, this one is giving off a powerful killing intent clearly. Yahoo! It's been a while. I know the boy priest who is giving a disgusting smile. The white-haired crazy priest, Fried Zelzen. He's the one we fought in the previous incident involving the fallen angels. He is showing the same disgusting smile that is ticking me off like before. Looks like you are still in this town. What is your business today? I'm sorry, but I'm in a really bad mood today. I said that with an angry tone, but he simply laughs it off. Well, that's good timing. Wonderful. In my case, I'm so happy that I'm going to shed some tears because of my reunion with you. So he still has his cocky way of talking. Seriously, he really does get on my nerves. I already hate him for being a priest. When I try to make a demonic sword in my left hand, the long sword he is wielding starts to emit a holy aura. That light, that aura, that glow. How can I forget? I was getting bored of priest hunting, so this really is a good timing. Very good. Nice timing indeed. My Excalibur and your demonic sword, can you let me check which one is stronger? Hi ha 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 ha, I would repay you by killing you. Yes, the sword he has is the holy sword Excalibur itself. Chapter 35. Izuku's Pav. 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. So holy sword project. But you nodded at my words while I was doing push-ups. Yes. Yudo is a survivor of that project. Asia, Butchu and I returned to my house after we finished our club activities. Butchu and Asia came into my room, and Butchu had started to tell us about Kiba with me working out while listening, doing sit-ups next. There was a project several years ago inside the Christian church that aimed to make those who can wield the holy sword Excalibur. This is my first time hearing this. Asia didn't know about this project. Well, a secret project like this won't reach the ears of the girl who was praised as the holy maiden. Holy swords are the ultimate weapons against devils. If we, the devils, touch the holy sword, then we will burn ourselves. If we get cut by it, then we will be terminated without a trace. It could be called the ultimate weapon for those who believe in God and see devils as an enemy. Holy sword, it's those things that also come up in games and light novels. Well, I'm glad issei knows this, but I would have figured it out as well. Anything that is connected to angels, be it an item or a weapon, is dangerous for a devil. Even though there are numerous holy swords originating from all over the world, I still think the most famous one would be Excalibur. Even in Japan, it comes up in many books. It's a holy weapon that is created through means of magic and alchemy by those who reach the territory of God. But holy swords choose their wielders. I hear that only one person in a decade or so gets chosen. Kiba is a sacred gear possessor that can create demonic swords, right? So isn't there a sacred gear that can create holy swords instead? It was my question. I made a simple conclusion that a sacred gear that can create holy swords exists because a sacred gear that creates demonic sword does. It's not like there aren't. But if you compare it to the holy swords that already exist, it is kind of lacking. Of course, I'm not saying it's weak. Among them there is a sacred utensil included in the longinus, just like your boosted gear. The most famous is the sacred gear that was wielded by the person who killed Jesus Christ, the true longinus. It's also said that the name longinus was derived from it. Longinus. It is a sacred gear that has the power to kill God. Like the one I possess in my left arm. So, there is a sacred utensil that is a sacred gear and is also a longinus. But to hear that the spear that killed Jesus was also a longinus, I was discovering the mystery behind the history from out of nowhere. Except, at this point there isn't a holy sacred gear that can compete with Excalibur, Durandal or Ama no Murakumo no Tsurugi, because these holy swords are too powerful. It's the same with the demonic swords. So much stuff that I had no clue about. I'll probably have to remember these things. I need my notebook, damn it. I thought of this while finishing up my small workout. Udo received artificial treatment to adapt to the holy sword, particularly the Excalibur. So Kiba is able to use the holy swords. But you shook her head at my question. Udo couldn't adapt to the holy swords. Not only Udo, but it seems like everyone who received a treatment similar to Udo's couldn't either. Even Kiba, who is an expert at using swords and can handle all those demonic swords, couldn't use the holy swords. The people of the church decided to view the ones who couldn't adapt to the holy swords as defective products and disposed of them. Dispose sounds like an unpleasant word. I can imagine what it means. Butchu's eyes changed because she also felt discomfort. Most of the people experimented on were killed, including Udo. Only because they couldn't adapt to the holy swords. It can't be. It's not an acceptable act by those who serve God. It seems like this was a big shock for Asia. Her eyes were covered with tears. It is normal to cry when something you believe in continues to betray you. They, the people of the church, calls us devils and evil existence, but I think the bad intentions of humans are the greatest evil in this world. Butchu said it with sad eyes. Butchu is a devil. But she is very kind. Butchu told me that she has similar feelings as humans because she stayed in the humans world for too long, but I believe that's not the case. I think that Butchu was a kind woman right from the start. Otherwise you can't explain her kind smile. There are also kind people among the devils, and that is my pride of being a devil. When I reincarnated Udo into a devil, that boy was swearing for his revenge even when he was in a critical situation. Because his talents were being used for holy swords since he was born, I wanted him to use his talents as a devil. Udo's talent at using swords would be a waste for only using it for holy swords. Butchu wanted to save Kiba by turning him into a devil because he had a miserable life due to the holy swords. She wanted to tell him not to get so fixated on holy swords and use his powers as a devil. But Kiba, that boy, couldn't forget about it. The holy swords. Those who were involved with the holy swords. And the people of the church. The reason why he detests priests. The reason why he is obsessed with the information regarding holy swords. He still couldn't forget about them. No, they played around with his life and killed him afterwards. It's not weird for him to hold a grudge. When I was killed by that fallen angel, I also held a grudge against her. And it happened to him when he was little, so his hatred against them must be enormous. Butchu made a big sigh. Anyway, I will just watch over him for now. Right now his head is full of the feelings he has towards the holy swords. But I hope he returns to his usual self. About that. I think this photo was what caused him to act like this. I handed the photo to Butchu. Kiba said the sword in this photo is a holy sword. I think it is somehow related. Butchu's eyes changed as soon as she saw the photo. Eyes. Is there someone you know who is related to the church? No. There's none among my relatives. That's what my well-essay's parents told me. I asked them just in case. Except when I was really small, it seems there was a child who was a Christian living in the neighborhood. I said, remembering by memory. Wait, did he really think that she was a he? Wow, I mean, I may be somewhat clueless to the opposite hex, but this is just sad. Toshinori, well, you were pretty dense when it came towards young Uraraka, young Midoriya, and let's not forget your specific link towards a certain girl who craves blood. Izuku. Erase those joy to form your spirit like mine. Toshinori. Toshinori, never. I internally sighed in my mind at his behavior. So, there is one near. You know, there was a holy sword in this area about 10 years ago. It's so terrifying. Then is that sword really a holy sword? Yes, it's one of the holy swords. It's not as powerful as the legendary holy sword I mentioned before, but it's the real thing. Then it must mean that this man is the holy sword wielder. Now I get it. I heard that my predecessor who was in charge of this area vanished, but it would make sense if this was the reason. But if I remember. Oh. Butchu started talking to herself. Seems like she found out something. But Butchu thought for a while and let's go to sleep. Even if we think about it, it's not like Udo's behavior will go back to normal. After saying that, Butchu started to strip her clothes. What is up with this girl taking her clothes off? Butchu, why are you taking your clothes off here? Why? You also know that I can't sleep without being naked. Ice. No, not that I mean. Why are you taking them off in my room? I tried looking away at Butchu's body while I was panicking, but my eyes were dead set on her. No matter how many times I look at them, she has an amazing body. Her boobs bounced after she took her bra off. That's because I'm going to sleep with you. Butchu answered me as if it was the obvious answer. I started to bleed for my nose trying to hold it in. Don't give in to your urges that she wants to sleep with me. I tried to calm down, but what happened next didn't help. Then I'm sleeping here as well. I'm also going to sleep with Ai-san. The shattering of glass inside my mind plus the laughter from Toshinori made my eyes turn slits. Butchu, you are being a bad influence on Asia. Please put your clothes on. Butchu frowned her eyebrows at my words. Bad influence? That's a harsh thing to say, Ice. You know that I sleep naked, right? You slept with me a number of times. This time it was Asia who responded to Butchu's words. Slept together a number of times. No, Ai-san and Butchu-san. Asia started to shake and get teary eyes because it was a big shock for her. Hold on, what kind of situation is this? Asia, hand over ice for tonight. I don't want to. I think I have the right to be spoiled by Ai-san as well. I also want to sleep with Ai-san. Asia, you wanted to sleep with me that much? I feel a bit complicated, but also really happy. Even though she has teary eyes, she seems determined. I can tell from what she said that she won't back down. A fight is about to start in my room. Let's not fight. Both of them glared at each other, and there were sparks between them. I'm trying to breathe in this awkward situation. It's really hard to breathe here, it truly is. Then let's make Ice decide. Butchu then looked at me. Her eyes were telling me choose me. I can feel a force coming from her eyes. Ai-san. You will sleep with me, right? Asia asked me with sobbing eyes. I felt like surrendering to her because she wasn't acting. The person whom I won't pick will hold a grudge against me. I held my head down because this was the hardest choice I've ever faced. I took a gulp of air and sweat a bit from their stares. Izuku drag, Toshinori, help me guys. Toshinori, sorry young Midoriya, but a hero must always face danger head on even in this situation. Brag, forgive me partner, but you're on your own. You have my condolences. Izuku traders. Chapter 36. Izuku's paw. Phew. I took a breath after I drank a cup of water in the kitchen. After that I calmed the situation down by choosing to sleep with both of them. Of course, making Butchu wear her nightgown just for today. At that rate, Asia would also have copied her. It seems like Asia will become erotic because of Butchu's influence. Well, that would make me feel a bit of happiness for my perverted side, but at the same time would leave me with complicated feelings. How fucked up is that, huh? I need to protect Asia. The girl you are trying to protect becoming erotic, it might be a good thing, but it might be a bad thing as well. NGGGGH. It's something that my mind can't handle at the moment. Me having dragonic changes in my body is making me go nuts. If the girls even try to initiate anything, I might just let loose. I let my thoughts out. Well, my perverted side, the side that belongs to Issei's personality. On the bed, Butchu and Asia were sleeping while I slept between them. It's a situation I dreamed of. This is a wonderful thing. I'm sleeping while being surrounded by two girls, you know. It would be the ultimate situation for guys, and if I think of laying my hand on Butchu who sleeps on the left side of me, it seems like Asia would get mad at me. If I lay my hand on Asia who sleeps on the right side, then the goodwill inside me will tell myself not to. It's killing me, damn it, they are right in front of me, but I can't lay my hands on them. I held my head down with my arms while shedding tears of regrets. Of course I couldn't go to sleep because I was getting too excited since there were two bishoujo sleeping next to me. I stopped my urge to grope breasts and thighs and came downstairs when I saw a chance. I was sure the two of them were sleeping peacefully. Should I want to have hex with them? Isn't this the time in my life where I am popular with girls? Shouldn't I use this as a chance to experience a lot of things? Maybe do something erotic with the three of us? Is it even possible in a harem having threesomes is normal? I heard it's the basic stuff, then this means I am not fit to make my own harem. If I had a talent for making a harem, then by now I would have made Butchu and Asia feel pleasured and have them in my grasp. Holy shit, I understood another painful reality. I can't even do anything when I'm sleeping with two girls. I mean, it seems that I can lay my hand on Butchu, but I can't, and I can't make Asia impure. Is it because I'm too inexperienced that I think like that? Is it because I'm a virgin? Absurd. In the simulation I made in my head it goes like this. Fufu. So which girl should I pleasure today? Sama, please pick me, I beg you. What are you talking about? I'm a slut that can't live without master's penis, so please pick me. Don't get in my way, Oni-sama, I can't endure it anymore. I beg you, please come inside me. Haha, hey, give me a break. I only have one body, you know. So make a row, so choose the order nicely. Haha, what troublesome kittens you are. In my head it was perfect, but reality is harsh. There was a tear falling down my cheek. After all, it was just a hallucination that I made in my head. When am I going to have my first hex? I think it's about a good time for having hex once with a girl. Never. Impossible, because I have already seen boobs many times and the next step after that is hard. Sob, why did it turn out like this? Well, that's about that. I let my perverted side out and now I've claimed down somewhat with Riaz and Asia getting close to me, laying their heads on my chest, and I clicked help but smile a bit. Hey partner. Sorry to bother you. I never expected that you would have started a conversation with me. The being residing in my left arm, the sacred gear boosted gear, the Welsh dragon Drake. He suddenly talked to me soon after the raiding game against the House of Phoenix. And he rented me the power, Balance Breaker, which is the ultimate power of sacred gears. Thanks to that I defeated Razor Phoenix and succeeded in destroying Butchu's engagement. At that time my left arm turned into that of a dragon, which is the price for using that power, and also I gave away my heart, which was a slick chance for me to die on the spot, but I was lucky to live. Now I'm a hybrid of a devil, dragon and human. Now my arm is back to normal because of Butchu and Akeno-san's help, but if I don't receive the treatment to weaken my dragon power, then my arm will revert back to a dragon's arm. You didn't even appear since then and didn't even talk back to me when I was calling you. Don't say that. I won't run away this time. Let's talk a bit. I sat down on the sofa in the living room. HMPH. Coming out of nowhere. Nah, don't say that. Did the dragon power inside me become full? Is that the reason why this guy is talking to me? Tomorrow is the day Akeno-san is going to scatter my powers. Gufufu, I can't wait for tomorrow. That is so erotic I can't stop myself from drooling. Seems like your head is full of things like that as always. Greg said it while making a sigh. I mean, Knaz, you blame I'm at that age, plus you know how his personality is anyway. What did you want to talk about? I don't mind talking about the opposite hex. You were listening. Well, I am always with you, so I can hear it whether I want to or not, plus seeing how you lived your life as Izuku Midoriya makes me wonder what crazy ideas you'll have in this life. Is that so? So you can hear everything. And it's even worse because it seems like he can hear my thoughts as well. The Gremory and their servants are beings with extraordinary affection among the devils. Your master and friends are the same as well. Especially the love Ria's Gremory has towards you is deep, seems like she adores you a lot. Yeah, and I'm scared I might overdo it and let loose. I answered him while blushing while having smile on my face with my eyes changing. That's right. I am being especially taken care of by Butchu. I think she started to adore me even more after I beat Razor. Even in front of the other club members, the other servant devils, she hugs me, I even get kissed on the cheek sometimes, and on the lips. I'm happy but also embarrassed, so I don't know what to do. Fuck it. Fukuku. You are probably at the age where you should experience that stuff. You should experience that kind of stuff as soon as you can. You won't know when the white guy will appear in front of you. Hey. I wanted to ask you before, but what is that white guy you always talk about? The white dragon, vanishing dragon. The vanishing dragon. Is it related to Drag, the Welsh dragon? If I remember, Drag is called Security, then the white dragon is Drag. Talk to me while I was thinking about it. You know that the three sides of God and angels, fallen angels and devils, were having a big war a long time ago, right? Yeah, that time other powers gave their support to certain sides. Fairies, spirits, European monsters, Asian yokai and humans. But the dragons were the only beings that didn't side with any of them. Why was that? I wonder. I don't know the actual reason. But dragons are beings that are made from a massive powers, and they all act freely and selfishly. There were dragons that turned into devils or those that sided with God. But the majority of them didn't care about the war and lived freely. Wow, dragons are such troublesome creatures. They live how they want to. But during the Great War between the three powers, there were two stupid dragons that started a fight. And those two were in the highest class of dragons, and they had a power that rivaled that of God and Mao. They started to fight each other while taking down the guys of the three powers. For the three powers, there wasn't anything more troublesome than these two dragons. The three powers were having a serious war to take control of this world, and the two dragons were disturbing the battlefield without any care. Those two are the worst, they are just super troublesome dragons. Why were the two fighting that much? No idea. It's like they weren't interested in anything at all. The two dragons probably can't remember the reason why they started to fight. And for the first time, the leaders of the three powers joined hands. We have to get rid of those two dragons, or else it's not a matter of war anymore like that. The groups who are enemies forming an alliance. And the reason for that is a fight between dragons. It seems complicated. The two dragons that got their fight interrupted became mad. Don't get in the way of our fight, a mere god and Mao shouldn't be interrupting a duel between dragons, they responded like idiots. They went head on and tried to eat God, Mao, and the leaders of the fallen angels. Well, that was a mistake, I guess. They seriously are the ultimate and worst dragons. But I get it now. So those two dragons are. In the end, the two dragons got cut into pieces and their spirits were sealed within human bodies as sacred gears. The two dragons that were sealed within humans used them as vessels, they encountered each other and fought each other countless times. Every time one of them won and one of them died. Sometimes one of them was already dead before the other one came and so they didn't fight, but most of the times they did. If the vessel, human, dies, then the dragons stop functioning for a certain time. Their spirits float around in this world until the humans with dragon powers are born. That cycle has repeated countless times for many long years. And those two dragons are you and the vanishing dragon, huh? Yeah, that's right. This time it was you who became my host. And you even became a devil. In all the long years I have been like this is a first time. That's why I am looking forward to it. I wonder what's going to happen this time. Hey, you possess this body without the former body's sole permission, so don't go around looking forward to what's going to happen to his life, but it might be a good idea to convey Issei's dream to him. I cleared my throat and roared with my strongest voice. Listen up, Drake, I want to get promoted to a high-class devil and become a harem king. My dream is to form an army of bishoujo by making lots of girls my personal servant devils. Drake became speechless for a moment and started laughing. Haha, it's also my first time having a host like you as well, and following the footsteps of the former most of the hosts in the past either got too proud of our powers or too terrified of our powers, with none of them living a decent life. Am I abnormal or am I weird? You are weird in your own way and you were weird in your past life as well, but not abnormal. Either way, you are a being that is possessed by a dragon. In whatever age and country, dragons represent power. You know how, even though they come in many different forms and shapes, there are pictures and carvings of dragons in many different countries. Throughout the ages, humans admired dragons, respected dragons, and feared dragons. Unwittingly, dragons fascinate those around them. Or those with power gather around the dragons. If there are people who come to you with admiration or to challenge you, then it's most likely the power of the dragon. It sounds like an inconvenient power. So am I going to be targeted by a lot of guys to fight strong foes that are attracted to power? That's the path of those who possess the Dragon Emperor. But you don't have to be pessimistic. Women would come to you as well. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. All of my hosts were surrounded by the opposite hex. I think you call them popular, right? They didn't have to worry about the opposite hex at all. Then there are some people who had hex with a girl. There was a guy who slept with a different woman every night. Why at my previous senpais were doing that kind of stuff. That's so wonderful, beautiful, I screamed out of joy within myself. This is amazing, seriously amazing, fuck this perverted side, damn it. Are you serious? You sir are an amazing sacred gear like that. I bowed my head down and spoke to him with respect. I mean, I didn't know that this sacred gear was an amazing item like that. That information became a light of hope to me. You are looking at me with respect and are talking to me with respect. It's certainly my first time having a host like you who changes his attitude like that. What are you talking about, Drake? I'm not in a position to say rude things to you. I'm someone who shows a hairy respect to others, so I will be under your care from now on. You seriously are a man who is hard to understand. But certainly it's going to get interesting. Well, let us both not get killed by Vanishing Dragon then. Oh yeah. By the way, is the Vanishing Dragon strong? He's strong. To begin with, we had powers that could even dominate God and Mao. It's just that we had a curse put on us when we got turned into sacred gears. We are in a tight situation to release our full powers. Even so, if you get used to it, high-class devils and high-ranked angels are nothing against us. I get it now. So if I and the guy who possessed the Vanishing Dragon master how to use our sacred gears, then we can become that powerful. But to tell the truth, I am not interested in defeating God or Mao. But it might be awesome to become a Mao and gather girls. I have antagonism against fallen angels, but I don't want to encounter their leaders, but would I end up meeting the Vanishing Dragon, whether I want to or not? Who is the possessor? It's obvious that it's someone that I don't know. But I hope it is a girl. I'm going to live my life to the fullest without getting dragged into the destiny of dragons. I will also improve myself so I don't lose to the vanishing dragon. Either way, I think my current aim is Butchu's Oppai. With Butchu's Oppai, I'm going to dot. You're going to grope it. No, I'm going to suck it. I said it to him clearly. I don't know why, but the Emperor of Dragons became silent. Did he lose his words? I continued on with my perverted side taken over. The sensation of Butchu's Oppai, I can still feel it within my hands. If I get another chance, I want to grope it for a whole day. Even Butchu might give it to me as a treat for her servant. But that's not enough. Guys have to aim higher. Guys who become satisfied with groping Oppai are second-rate lechers. That's why I'm going to suck her Oppai. Is that so? Well, do your best. Braig sounded shocked by my words. But I'm serious, Emperor of Dragons. Braig, I will be borrowing your powers. Supporting to suck a woman's tits seems like I went down hard. But that may also be fun. Having a partner like this sometimes might be good. 1. He seemed like he agreed to it even though he made a sigh. He seems to see me at weird times. Let's work together, partner. Yeah, you are right, partner. Like this, me and the Emperor of Dragons made a promise for our new objective at midnight or something like that, because I know for a fact Toshinori is enjoying this while laughing his spirit ass off. Chapter 37. Izuku's Pav. Right now I'm walking towards my school, escaping the delicious prison of me being sandwiched in Ria's and Asia's oppace, and chuckled a bit, and when I saw my school I stopped for a bit thinking about something. Izuku Issei used to do Kendo before he indulged the ways of being perverted. Maybe doing it can spark a bit of that lost flame a bit. When thinking about it, I walked towards the Kendo club. And since it was early, no one was there. I looked around and checked for a bit to see the shin I used when I grabbed one while taking off my school shirt, leaving me with my red t-shirt. I then went to the platform and took a breath and did some practice swings while planting my feet and being into the stance that Issei uses. While I was practicing my swinging, I heard shouting that made me stop what I was doing. What the hell are you doing here, pervert? When I looked, I saw two familiar faces, well, faces that Issei know, two girls that are wearing the Cow Academy uniforms, one of them looking at me with disgust on her face, while the other has a look of confusion. These two girls are part of the Kendo club, Murayama and Caddis. When the girl with the pink, whose name is likely Caddis, glared at me with hate in her eyes. Caddis, I ask you again, why are you doing here, pervert? Izuku, so I'm not allowed to be here because I'm a pervert. Damn, you girls are wilding. And I said the lady part quietly. I sighed while stopped swinging. Izuku, well, I'm only here because my curiosity piqued to try Kendo. Murayama, really, you interested in Kendo? That's a laugh considering how you and your other perverted friends are. Izuku, really, so just because I'm perverted I can't have any other hobbies? Caddis, you think just because you're interested in Kendo doesn't change the fact that you're still a pervert? I sighed while holding the shinai. Izuku, well then what are you going to do since it's still early? Caddis and Murayama then looked at each other and then looked at me with a suspicious look on their faces. Caddis, how about a duel? The loser does whatever the winner says and it's absolute. Izuku, really, just you versus me? Hahaha, okay, if that's what you want. Caddis then blushed and glared at me even more. Izuku, hey, don't blame me if you lose. I may be a bit green, but I can still be a challenge. Murayama, hey, don't think for a second someone like you can win. Izuku, we'll see. Time skip. Tib Chibi. Toshinori riding on Chibi Drake's back. I'm sitting in the Seiza position while wearing the Keiko Gai and the Hakama. Toshinori, young Midoriya, is there a reason for to accept the duel? Braig, yes, partner, what's the point for this? Izuku, honestly, I just want to pass the time, plus they were ones who wanted to see if I can use the shinai. I opened my eyes to see that only Caddis was the only one wearing the Kendo uniforms. Izuku, I thought that both of you would be fighting me. Caddis then went on the platform and went to her stance. Caddis, HMPH, don't worry, I'll be the only one who can take you down. Izuku, well, this is going to end quickly. Caddis, what, are you already admitting defeat? Izuku, nope. I said this while going to my stance with a serious look on my face. Izuku, this fight is going to end quickly with you losing. Dina made Caddis mad at me, with the two of us waiting until the sound of a bell from Murayama signaled for us to begin. The two us battling, trying to hit each other, cause we agreed whoever hits first wins. But I'm losing my strength a little. We continued our little dance until I saw an opening. This caused not only Caddis to be shocked, but Murayama as well. I placed the shinai down and looked at Caddis. Izuku, well, now a duel is a duel. Caddis, how I know for sure I would win. Izuku, then you shouldn't underestimate your opponent even when they're a pervert. I said this while giving her a smirk that caused her to be red in the face, but she sighed. Caddis, fine, you win. Now what do you want me to do? Izuku, hahaha. I laughed while walking towards her, making her step back with Murayama blocking my objective, but I simply smirked and walked in front of her and got close to her face. Izuku, I'm not going to hurt her. Murayama, do don't worry. I then grabbed her by the arm and also grabbed Caddis's arm as well, and bringing the two girls in a hug long enough, and I let go of them and just laughed. Izuku, I appreciate that you both think so little of me, but I really am trying to change to be a better person, so don't worry, okay? Now I need to go and change, I'll see you two in class, okay? I said this while patting their heads with them being in a daze. After I changed back into my school uniform, I suddenly felt a sensation on my left arm. Izuku, damn it, right now. Drake, sorry that you have to go through with this, partner. Izuku, it's alright Drake, I asked for this plus to give away my heart in order to be more dragon. A few hours later inside the occult research club, to scatter the powers of a dragon. That is to nullify it by getting the power taken away by high-level devils. There are a couple of methods to do this, but the easiest and the most certain one is to take it out directly from that person. The way I am getting it done is, well, it's certainly stimulating for me. The only high-level devils who can do that to me are Butchu and Kendo. Both of them take turns at taking out my dragon powers. Today is the day I get my dragon powers taken out, and I am currently in a room on the second floor of the old school building, which is used by Kendo-san. It used to be a classroom, but now there is a tatami Japanese flooring on the floor, and it looks like a traditional Japanese room. There are symbols around the room that look like certain casting spells, and there are also casting items in the room. I was waiting in the middle of the room with my upper body naked. There's also a magic circle below the place I was sitting. I heard that this was a necessary thing for rituals. There's also a meaning for why I didn't have anything on my upper body, this is required for the ritual. The door opened and someone entered the room. The person who appeared was a Kendo-san with a white cloth on. She had her usual ponytail untied as well. I always think about it every time I do this ritual, but a Kendo-san with her hair down looks fascinating and attractive. She smiled at me once, and then she quietly sat in front of me very sacredly. The preparations are done. Now, we shall begin. She's really tempting me. The white cloth that is covering her body is soaked with water, and it's NKT helping my little man down there, damn it, with her long black hair, is also sticking to the cloth, and she looking hexy as fuck. I can even see her skin, I can see it through the cloth, the pink colored thing, I can see her nipples. Why the hell isn't she wearing a bra? Ara. Did something happen? You suddenly became quiet. Is something wrong with what I am wearing? The reason why it is soaked is because I put water onto myself for the ritual. Is it weird? The Kendo-san started to pat herself on her chest on purpose. It's affecting my crotch. No, you look really great in it. I couldn't help myself staring at her chest. It's just that her see-through clothes are too stimulating. Wait a minute, is it just me or isn't she wearing anything down there as well? I then looked around her hips. I became speechless. She isn't wearing anything down there. What the fuck is up these chicks? Toshinori, young Midoriya, relax and take your prize. Izuku, shut up Tashi. She doesn't seem to be shy about it and isn't even trying to hide it, it's more like she is enjoying my reaction. Let's start. Ice-kun. Please give me your left arm. Why yes, I will be in your care. The way to scatter the power of a dragon. That is, to suck the dragon's energy directly from Ice-kun's finger, pulling accumulated energy out of your left arm. AI, if I do this, your arm would temporarily revert back to its original state. Yes. By getting it directly sucked through my body, the ritual is complete. In my case, my problem is solved by Butchu and Kendo-san sucking the dragon's power through my finger. Chup. Making an obscene water sound, Kendo-san put my index finger into her mouth. While sucking my finger, Kendo-san was making obscene sounds on purpose. It's as if she was enjoying my reaction. As for me, I could only tremble slightly, with my face completely red, letting my body enjoy the pleasure of being sucked at my fingertips, and then I could feel the wave of power within my left arm gathering at my fingertip and disappearing. And the weight I felt in my left hand was disappearing as well. My left arm was getting relaxed. It felt like the presence of Drake was fading. Then was I right about the fact that if my dragon's power becomes dense, then Drake's conscience also becomes dense? When I was thinking about that, lick. I accidentally slipped my voice. That's because Kendo-san suddenly licked my finger. She started to swirl around my finger with the tip of her tongue. Why wait, Kendo-san, when I looked, Kendo-san had a naughty face and it looked like the sadist personality of hers got turned on. My finger that came out of her mouth had a threat of Kendo-san saliva. Ara. If you make a cute reaction like that, then I feel like giving you more service. See, service? Yes. I also don't think it's a bad thing to adore my cowhide. Kendo-san started to suck my finger again and put her body closer towards me. Kendo-san, wait a second, what's going on? By ignoring my confused reaction, she put a smile on and hugged me. I can smell the nice smell of her silky black hair. No, I can smell a fragrance from Kendo-san's body that insanely shakes my manhood. Since I had nothing on my upper body and Kendo-san was wearing a really thin cloth, I could feel her body directly. It felt cold because her cloth was wet, but I could feel the warmth from her body temperature, and her body temperature felt so erotic that my head was about to go crazy. Kendo-san's body is so soft, I can feel the sensation of her oppai just through the cloth. I couldn't take it anymore, I'm about to lose it, and Toshinori isn't helping me calm down with him cheering me on to lose my V card. The Kendo-san whispered into my ears while I was stiff like a rock. Even I act like this, I have a great liking towards you, Ice-kun. Me? Yes. First I thought of you as a cute junior. But it's different lately. In the fight against the Phoenix last time. I saw you standing up no matter how many times you were beaten down from the infirmary room. If I remember correctly, Akeno-san retired during the match and she was sent to the infirmary room. And you came to the engagement party to save Butchu. You even defeated Phoenix, who is said to be immortal. Even I will be aroused if I see a man fighting wonderfully like that. Aroused? Akeno-san looked directly at me and chuckled. Yufu. Sometimes I think about you and the area around my breast gets hot. And I can't help it. But when I try to make you enjoy something like this, the instinct of a bully inside me rises. Is this love? Is this love, huh? And I am being bullied. There's Hexwell bullying like this. Oh shit, she's a cousin ad similar to Himiko. Fuck. Hashinori, really? How so? Izuku Himiko tied me down while pouring hot candle wax on my body while making me see Achako pleasure herself and grabbing my manhood while squeezing it tightly. Hashinori. Are you into that kind of role play? Izuku, no you sick fuck, I am not. But if I lay my hands on you, Rias might get mad. That person truly sees you, Yufufu. You are a sinful man, Ice-kun. I stopped my conversation with Toshinori and looked at Akeno-san. Me? No way, I don't eat any kind of punishment if this girl grows full-blown sadist on me. Then Akeno-san put her arms around my neck and she purposely exposed her body. I could see the peach-colored nipple on her right boob. I could see it clearly. She was even exposing most of her legs. Do you want to have an affair with me? A affair? Affair against whom? Wait, oh fuck. Yufufu. I will keep quiet about what's going to happen now from Butchu and Asia-chan. Exciting, isn't it? A secret between us. Drip 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 drip. I started to get a nosebleed and it wasn't going to stop, it continued to flow out of my nose. I also want to experience at least once. To get devoured by a younger boy with lust. I also have masochism within me as well. I think it's about a good time for having a man inside me now for once. Please stop to say those finishing blows continuously at me, huh? About a good time? Does that mean? Akeno-san, are you perhaps? Yes, I'm a virgin. Yufufu. Ice-kun would be more experienced, so I would be happy if you lead me. And no. I also don't have any experience. Toshinori, I call bullshit. Izuku, shut up. Toshi, let me have my moment. Akeno-san made a shocked expression at my confession. That's a big surprise. I thought that you and Butchu had already. No, we haven't. I don't even know if it's alright if I am her first mate. Is Butchu taking it slow? Then have you done it with Asia-chan? That would be even more impossible. Izuku, considering there's a lot of interruptions when I have the chance. I can't lay my hands on those two. And if we are talking about Asia, it's a different story. Asia is a person that I have to protect and laying my hands on her is something unforgivable. That's what I decided in my own mind. But fuck that, it's either I start something or my instinct are going to control me with my fucking lust. If it's Ice-kun, I thought that Butchu would have given you a big treat every night. This is certainly surprising. What is that big treat you are talking about? Ice-kun? Don't you want to do it with either of them? I do want to do it, I really do. I'm keeping down my urge to push her down on my bed, but I can't go past the last step because of interruptions. I also want to have hex with Butchu and Asia. Or you are Ara. Then both of you are slow at these things. I'm sure you could do it if you were willing to do it. Then it seems like I can't take your purity without a permission. No, it can't end like this. I felt it again, my lust controlling me, that it made my eyes turn to slits. But something happened that made my eyes turn back to its normal color. Suddenly the door opened. When I looked in that direction, Butchu was there staring with angry eyes. Akeno. What's the meaning of this? Butchu approached us with an unpleasant voice. Oh crap, she's angry. Ifufu. I was just scattering the power of the dragon. Akeno-san answered unconcernedly. She had her smile on. Is that so? But no matter how you look at it, weren't you trying to do something beyond that? I wasn't thinking of doing it. Even if you weren't, there is a limit. Even I haven't. Isn't that because you are taking it slow? It might be good reading a book about it, but it won't go as smoothly as in the manual. They weren't glaring at each other, but Butchu and Akeno-san were looking at each other in the eyes. Somehow I could feel the intensity. I know this feeling, it's justly like when Achako and Hiniko were like this when I secretly went out with Himiko and Achako found out. I put my shirt on quickly and tried not to get close to them. Izuku, no way am I dealing with this. Then Butchu glared at me and pinched my cheek. Ouch, Ice. It seems like you were having fun. Did you get close to the Akeno Wani-sama that you admire so much? Go on. I couldn't speak properly because I had my cheeks pinched. But making up an excuse didn't seem manly, so I stopped saying anything. Even I was getting into the flow, I was looking forward to it. Then do whatever you want. Butchu made an angry face and left the room. Bang. Even the way she closed the door was violent. Damn, why? Is it because I was about to do something naughty with the Keno? No, that's not it, I need to figure it out quick. The Keno-san whispered to me when I was confused. Jealousy? She sure is cute. Yufufufu. Ice-kun. It seems like you are making progress in your relationship. Did she think that I would be taken by a Keno-san? Ria's being jealous, I mean she looked cute when she made an angry face like Asia. I simply smiled a bit. Izuku, this sucks balls. Chapter 38. Izuku's POV. After that event that occurred, I'm walking home with Asia, who looked at me. Asia, you're not together with Butchu-san. Izuku, ah well, it looks like she's upset with me, it seems. Asia, did something happen? She asked me with me saying I did something wrong for her to upset, so I have to apologize to her later. Izuku, so you don't need to worry, Asia. She had a downward look on her face. Asia, I understand. But I, too, have been talking back to Butchu-san lately, so it may be my fault. I stopped her by patting her head, making her blush. Izuku, it's fine, Asia, she's not mad at you, okay? All she can do is nod her head while enjoying the head pats. Once we reached close to our, my danger sense went off suddenly with me feeling a sensation coming from inside my home. Izuku, my danger sense went off. No way, don't tell me. I got a serious look on my face and opened the door with Asia running behind with a worried look. Izuku, mom. But when I saw her, she wasn't alone. Oh, welcome home, issei, Asia. Are the two of you okay? Issei, you look pale, are you doing alright? I didn't say anything but looking at the two girls, and I was trying to steady my breath. Izuku, this presence, it's coming from those two, and seeing the cross they have, they're both Exorcist. Good afternoon, Ice-kun. I was confused cause it seems this girl's knows me like we've wait. This girl long light brown hair and violet eyes. Her hair is usually tied into twintails, each held with a blue scrunchie. Izuku, wait a minute, are you? This girl is Arina Shido. Back then she looked like a boy when she was a girl, even I was surprised at this. That's what my mom said and all I can do is look at Shido-san. Izuku, so Shido-san. Arina, what's with you being formal, just call me Arina, and I'm sorry you made a mistake when you were younger, considering I was a tomboy with a masculine face, but a lot of things changed and happened before we could meet, Ice-kun. I then looked at the other girl, a young woman with chin-length blue hair with a dyed green fringe on the right side and brown eyes. When I looked at her, all I can do is clenched my fist feeling on edge while looking at what she's holding. Izuku, whatever that thing is, I know for a fact it's a weapon used to destroy devils. Arina, truly, you can never tell what might happen at a reunion. That made me almost activated OFA at 1% around my fist, but when Arina got closer to me she told not worry, saying she and her partner were heading home. Arina returning to Japan after so long made me nostalgic, so I just dropped by, but it's about time for us to say farewell, Zenovia. The now named Zenovia simple nodded. You're welcome to stay longer, that's what mom said, but Arina said she'll stop by another time and told me she'll see me again later. That was when Zenovia looked towards me with a glare on her neutral face. Zenovia, I'm ready anytime. Saying this while holding the weapon, making me and Asia sweat a bit, but then they left with me taking calming breaths. Asia, issei-san, are you okay? I looked at Asia and just nodded my head. I'm glad that both of you are safe. Asia and I were hugged by Butchu. Arina and Zenovia had left the house after talking for 30 minutes. She had come to Japan after a long time. The reason why she came to my home was because it's the town she lived in as a child. She said that she went to England because of her parents' work. But no matter how I think about it, her parents are related to the church. After that, Butchu returned home. Like us, she came home with a pale face. After she confirmed mine and Asia's safety, she suddenly hugged us. Are you injured? I think they knew about us being devils, but I think they couldn't lay a hand on us in a normal residence, and especially in front of your mum who is a normal human. Both I-san and I are safe, Butchu-san. Butchu hugged me and Asia even tighter and held us like valuable things. Ah, Ice. I'm glad if something were to happen to you and Asia. After the normal club activity I was called in by Sauna and was listening to the story about people related to the church intruding the town. And I also heard that they have a holy sword with them. So she came home late because she had a talk with Sona. When she got close to my house, she realized the abnormal presence and came rushing here. She confessed that she thought of the worst when she entered the house and felt the presence of a strong holy power. It seemed like her heart was beating fast. I thought that the worst might have happened to my cute servants. I prepared for the worst scenario, you know. If I were to bid farewell to you after we had an argument, then I would have regretted it till death. I'm sorry. I should have treated you two with more importance. The Gremory and their servants are beings with extraordinary affection among the devils. I remembered what Drake had told me last night. I think it's the truth as well. She gave a sigh of relief and shed a tear after confirming our safety. She must have been extremely worried about us. It was after she had a little rumble with Asia and after she had got mad at me. Both of us thought that we made Butchu mad. Butchu seemed like she was worried about it. Butchu-san. I'm also sorry for talking back to you. I thought that Butchu-san would take I-san away from me. I thought that I couldn't win. Asia apologized. Butchu smiled and patted Asia's head. It's okay. Butchu then hugged us with love. I sighed in content, but I had to separate from her a bit with her looking at me wondering why I let go. Ice, do you want to touch me? I want to spoil you even more. When she said that and with her consent I was about to accept but no. Asia separated me from Butchu. Like I said, a lot of interruptions. Butchu made a sigh and continued talking after the three of us had calmed down. According to Sauna, who had met those two at noon, they want to negotiate with me, the devil Ria's Gremory, who has this town as her territory. The people from the church want to negotiate with a devil. Butchu nodded at my question. This was shocking. The devils and Christians are enemies. And the negotiation came from them, huh? Then is it a pact? Or a request? I'm not sure what they are planning, but they are planning to come to the club room after school tomorrow. They apparently promised God that they won't attack us. Can you believe them? We have to. We have to believe in their belief since they are the believers of God and they are coming to request something from devils when we are supposed to be evil beings to them. They seem to be under pressure and it's certain that it's trouble. I have a bad feeling about this from their story. The priests that come to this town keep getting killed. Butchu's eyes became sharp and she had a serious face. I sighed while having a serious look. Even that shit priest Fried who sided with the fallen angels detests us. If it's a true believer of God, then the way they look at us is even worse. Something was going to happen. Even I, who was new to this world, could feel that. And it's going to be a really big deal. Izuku, I have a feeling that you'll meet him soon. Izuku, are you sure, Drag? Yes, partner, and it seems that your predecessors are waking up. Izuku, wait, only Toshinori is the only one who's talked to me. Who else woke up? Hi Izuku-kun. I stopped for a bit and froze, making Rias and Asia wonder what's going on with me, but on the inside I was freaking out. Izuku no. Chapter 39. Izuku's POV. The next day after school. We, the members of Gremory Group, were gathered in the club room. On the sofa, Butchu with a Kendo and the two guests were sitting. The other members of our group including myself were sitting in the corner of the room listening to their conversation. Ever since those two came to the club room, we couldn't stop but feel something. Our instincts as devils were telling us that they were dangerous. Butchu and Akeno were talking to them with a serious face. But the most dangerous one was Kiba. He was glaring at them grudgingly. If something were to happen, no. He looked as if he was about to go slashing at them any moment. They were the believers of God that Kiba hates. If you knew his past, then you would know that he was brimming with hatred now, almost similar to the hate I hot from Tenya, damn it. Under this atmosphere, the first one to talk was Shidorina. Recently the holy swords Excaliburs that were kept by the Catholic Church headquarter, Vatican, Protestant Church, and Eastern Orthodox Church were stolen. Excalibur was stolen. And Catholic and Protestant. Thanks to what I've been at school plus to one named Ibarashai Azaki, I think it was thanks to her that I still tried to believe. But anyways, there were different factions within the Christian religion. But I'm confused on how can Excalibur be stolen from Catholic, Protestant and Eastern Orthodox. It's in one location, isn't it, or it's Excalibur itself doesn't exist. The one who answered was Butchu. Looks like Butchu can read what I am thinking. I'm sorry. One of my servants recently became a devil, so can we continue this conversation while explaining about Excalibur? Shidorina nodded at Butchu's request. Ice-kun. Excalibur broke in the war a long time ago. Irina looked at me and said that. Huh? Broke. The holy sword did. Even if it's a super famous sword from Legends. Now it looks like this. The woman with blue hair and green mesh got her weapon, which was covered in cloth, and revealed it to me. What appeared was a long sword. This is Excalibur. Jill's dot. The moment I looked at it, I felt as if every pore on my body opened and felt something really cold running through my body. Fear. Shiver. Awe. And anger. Looking at the sword on instinct, I activated OFA at 5%, but Riaz told me to calm down, but I was still on edge. Excalibur was broken into pieces during the war a long time ago. The fragments were collected and turned into a new form by alchemy. It was made into 7 swords. This is one of them. Then this Excalibur wasn't a real one, but was made into more swords from the original. The Excalibur I hold is Excalibur Destruction. It's one of the 7 holy swords that were created. The Catholic Church is in control of it. The woman with a mesh put her sword away and wrapped it with a cloth. If I look carefully, there were spell symbols on the cloth. Does she have it sealed usually? But it doesn't change the fact that it's dangerous. Irina also took out something that looked like a long rope. That rope started to move as if it were alive. The rope changed its shape right in front of me and turned into a katana. Mine is Excalibur Mimic. I can change its shape into anything I want, so it's really useful for carrying around. Just like this, each Excalibur has its unique ability. This one is in the possession of the Protestant Church. She said it with pride. To me was having a serious look, feeling my hands tremble, feeling nothing but fear from the 2 swords. Irina, there's no reason to tell these devils the ability of Excalibur, is there? Arazinovia. Even if they are devils, we still have to form a trustworthy relationship with them in this situation. Also, even if my sword's ability is revealed, I won't fall behind all the devils here. Shidorina said confidently. She probably had the confidence that she absolutely would not lose to us. With two of the legendary holy swords to be here, it's a reason why she was so confident, but isn't this a serious situation? And I realized the presence coming from near me. It was Kiba. He was glaring at the Excaliburs and the two women with a scary face that I had never seen before. That's right, Kiba holds a grudge against Excalibur. I hadn't even dreamed that I would witness an Excalibur in a place like this. Kiba probably never thought that he would encounter the Excaliburs here. And now it was right here in front of him. He must have been going crazy. Calm down. Don't go jumping at them, Kiba, you need to stop. Butchu is talking professionally with the enemy. If you jump in now, then it would be a worse scenario to start a battle with them. There's no way that there would be no casualties against the Excaliburs. So what does the stolen Excaliburs have to do with this country located in the east of the world? Butchu continued to talk with the same attitude. She isn't backing down even if it's an Excalibur in front of her, she is holding her ground. Zenobia then started to talk. The Catholic Church was in possession of 2 Excaliburs including mine. The Protestant Church also had 2. Also in the Eastern Orthodox Church there were 2 as well. The last one went missing in the previous war between God, devils, and fallen angels. 1 Excalibur was stolen from each church. The ones that stole them escaped to Japan and brought them to this town. So the one who stole the holy swords has taken a liking to this town. Butchu also put her hand on her forehead and took a breath. Looks like my territory is full of incidents. So who are the ones that stole the Excaliburs? The ones that stole them were the Grigori. Butchu widened her eyes in surprise at the answer. The holy swords were taken by the Fallen Angel organization. It's not a matter of mistake. But certainly it would be the Fallen Angels when it comes to stealing them. For the devils working at the top, holy swords does not give them much interest. We know the main culprit who stole the Excaliburs. One of the leaders of Grigori, Kakabiel, one of the leaders of the fallen angels that survived the previous wars since ancient times. I never expected to hear the name of the one that appears in the Bible. Butchu also smirked at the name. Wait, the leader of the fallen angels? Not only do we have the Excalibur, but also the leader of the fallen angels. If that's the case, then what was the reason they came here for? Was it for cooperation? We sent priests, exorcists, to this town secretly, but they kept getting killed. Zenobia said that. Are you serious? There were violent incidents like that occurring and we didn't know about it, then is it a request for cooperation? Did they come to ask for the help of the high-class devil who is in charge of this territory? But what the two women said clearly betrayed my guesses. Our request, no. Our order is to not to have any devils intrude in the battle between us and the fallen angels for the Excaliburs. In other words, we came here to tell you not to interfere with this incident. Butchu's eyes changed after hearing the way Zenobia talked. Such manner of speech. Is it restraint? Are you thinking that we might collaborate with those fallen angels? Perhaps that we might team up with them to do something with Excalibur? The headquarters think that it might not be impossible. There were chills within Butchu's eyes. She was quite pissed an enemy comes all the way to her territory. Then tells her not to be involved and not to butt in. Also they said whatever they wanted to by saying that they would not forgive us if we formed an alliance with the fallen angels. Butchu's pride as a high-class devil wouldn't allow her to keep quiet about it. The higher-ups don't trust devils and fallen angels. We were ordered as if the holy swords are taken away from God's side, then the devils would also be happy, right? The fallen angels would also profit from it. For those reasons it won't be weird for them to form an alliance. That's why we are giving you a warning. If you form an alliance with the fallen angel Kakabiel, then we will eliminate you all. Even if you're the little sister of the Mau, by our boss. Zenobia said it casually without caring about Butchu's glare. If you know that I am the sister of a Mau, then it means that you have lots of connections with the higher-ups in the church. Then I will say it. We will not form an alliance with the fallen angels. Never. In the name of the Gremory House. I will not do something that would tarnish the name of our Mau. It had become a contentious situation for both sides. But Zenobia laughed. Phew. Hearing that is good enough. I had to warn you just in case that Kakabiel is hiding himself in this town along with the 3 Excaliburs. If something were to happen I would be the one to be hated by the bunch in the church headquarters. Well, we won't ask for cooperation. If you were to form an alliance with God's side temporarily, then it would affect the balance of the 3 factions. Especially if it's the little sister of a Mau. After hearing Zenobia, Butchu softened her expression and took a breath. Where is the person the Orthodox Church dispatched? Zenobia answered Butchu's question. They have that person put on hold for this case. They are planning to protect the last Excalibur if Arena and I fail. So it's just the 2 of you? You are going to retrieve the Excaliburs from the leader of the fallen angel with just the 2 of you? How reckless. Are you trying to die? Butchu said it with an amazed voice. But Shidu Arena and Zenobia said it with straight eyes. Yes, I have the same view as Arena, but if it's possible I don't want to die. You came here to Japan prepared to die. The belief in your teaching is extreme like always. Don't talk ill of our beliefs, Ria's Gremory. Right, Zenobia, right. Also, the church decided that it would be better to eliminate all of the Excaliburs rather than letting them get used by the fallen angels. Our minimum objective is to get the Excaliburs away from the fallen angels. To accomplish that, it's okay for us to die. The only way to fight against the Excaliburs are Excaliburs. What determination was this? Their beliefs. I couldn't blame them since they'll die for the one they believe in. Is it possible with only the two of you? Well, we won't die in vain. Zenobia said fearlessly to Butchu's question. You seem confident. Do you have a secret weapon? Maybe. I will leave it to your imagination. After that, the two of them just stared at each other and the conversation stopped. Shidu, Irina and Zenobia looked at each other and stood up. Then we will take our leave now. Let's go, Irina. So you won't drink your tea? I can prepare a snack for you. I don't need it. Zenobia declined Butchu's offer with her hand. I'm sorry. See you. Irina also apologized with her hand. They didn't try to accept Butchu's offer and the two of them tried to leave. Then both of them looked in the same direction. It was Asia. When I saw you in Highschool DxD's house I thought that maybe it was you. Are you the witch Asia Argento? I never expected to meet you in a place like this, Zenobia said. Asia's body shook after she was called witch. That word is something painful to Asia. Irina seemed like she noticed as well and stared at Asia. Are you the rumored witch? The former holy maiden? You are said to have the power that can also heal devils and fallen angels, right? I heard that you were sent somewhere after getting exiled, but I never thought you became a devil. Am I? Asia didn't know how to react to Irina and Zenobia. It's okay. I won't tell the higher-ups what I saw here, so rest assured. People who were around the holy maiden Asia will also get shocked as well. Asia made a perplexed expression at Irina's words. But to become a devil. The one who was called a holy maiden. You fell to the lowest place you could. Do you still believe in our God? Zenobia. There's no way that she, who became a devil, still believes in God. Shidu, Irina said it with an amazed face. No, I can smell the belief from her. It might be an abstract way of saying it. But I'm sensitive to these things. There are people who betray the teachings and still have guilt within them because they couldn't forget the teachings. I can feel something similar coming from her. Zenobia said it with sharp eyes, and Irina stared at Asia even more with interested eyes. Is that true? Asia-san, you still believe in God even if you have turned into a devil? Asia replied to that question with a sad expression. I just can't put it aside. I believed in it for my whole life. Hearing that, Zenobia took her sword out from the cloth and pointed it at Asia. Is that so? Then you should be cut down by us this instant. If it's now, I can cut you in the name of God. Even if you have sinned, our God will forgive you. And Zenobia approached Asia. I stood in front of Asia to protect her with me glaring at Zenobia with bits of lighting and flames covering me. Don't touch her. I said it clearly to Zenobia with venom in my voice. If you come close to Asia, I won't forgive you. You called Asia a witch, didn't you? Yes, I have. Right now she is a being at least fit to be called a witch. I clenched my teeth so hard and made a noise with my teeth because of the anger I had towards her that it caused Ofa to form more arcs around me, with my pupils almost being non-existent. Don't fuck around, not even a single person helped her when she needed help. Those who can't understand Asia's kindness are a bunch of idiots. It's also wrong that none of them tried to become her friend. Do you think the holy maiden needed friends? What's important is the charity to others. The holy maidens are finished when they seek friendship and love from others. She could have continued to live with the love from God. So Asia Argento didn't have the right to be a holy maiden from the beginning. Zenobia said it as if it was an obvious thing. Shit, what the heck is with these guys? I couldn't understand them. I didn't want to understand them either. How could they say that Asia was the bad one? So you guys selfishly made her into a holy maiden and abandon her because she's different from those who seek her. That's fucked up, it fucking is. I couldn't stop myself from saying what I held within me. I always wanted to say this to those who are related to God. None of you know what she went through, what love that God didn't do jack shit when Asia was in a dangerous situation. But Zenobia answered calmly. God loved her. If nothing happened then it means that she didn't believe in him enough or her belief was fake. Are the people in the church all like this? Was Asia living among these guys? Don't screw around. What are you to Asia? Family? Friend? Comrade? That's why I will help Asia. I will protect Asia. If you try to lay a hand on her, I will turn all of you into my enemies, so don't fucking piss me off. Zenobia sharpened her eyes at my provocation. Is that a declaration to us all of those in the church? Something big coming out from a single devil. Gremory. I think you didn't educate him enough. Ice, Stow. But you tried to calm me, but Kiba stood in front of me. That's good timing. I will be your opponent. Kiba was carrying his sword, and there was an enormous aura of intent to kill coming out of his body. Who are you? Kiba smirked at Zenovia's question. I'm your senpai. though I apparently was a failure. That instant a countless number of demonic swords appeared in the clubroom, along with bolts of lighting from me. Both me and Kiba glared at Zenovia and Irina, the two of us and the two of them not backing down. Chapter 40. Izuku's POV. Right now I'm standing at the place where we were practicing for the ball tournament. Kiba was standing a bit away from me. And Irina and Zenovia were standing in front of us. Zenovia, I want to confirm something first before we begin. This is a private duel that concern the church. We don't plan to have things get any bigger than this. I take that you guys also recognize that fact. All Riaz did was nod her head. Enveloping us and our surroundings was a barrier made from red aura. The other members were looking at us from outside the barrier. Then let's start. Irina and Zenovia took their white robe off and were wearing black battle purpose clothes. They weren't showing their skins, but it looked erotic. You could see the curves of their bodies. But I didn't let their bodies cloud my way of thinking. It's time I fight like my myself form now on. Zenovia took the cloth off her weapon and revealed her Excalibur. The Excalibur that Shidu Irina had also turned into the shape of a katana. I will explain how it turned out like this. While I was arguing with the two holy sword wielders, Kiba came in and it got worse. But you also seemed troubled about keeping the situation under control because it was us, her servants, who had started the fight. Then Zenovia made a suggestion. It might be interesting to test the strength of Ria's Gremory's servants. Also, I'm interested in the strength of the so-called senpai. Zenovia accepted Kiba's challenge. She also added that this battle wouldn't be reported to the church. Apparently they understood our position a little bit, so they made it so that it wouldn't be a problem if it was not a fight for life. The location was the place we practiced for the ball tournament near the old school building. To avoid unnecessary damage and getting noticed by others, a Kendo-san put up a barrier for us. With this we could fight a bit more recklessly. And I was also participating in the battle. Is this the battle for the extra time after the quarrel? No, that's not the case. I only for a fact I was pissed because they were talking shit about Asia. But I never thought that it would turn into a battle like this. I was about to calm down when Butchu came in to stop me, but it turned out like this because Kiba came into the argument and I didn't mind that he did it cause it'll give me a reason to fight seriously. Even if it's just a match, be cautious of the holy swords. Butchu's warning reached me. Yes, I replied to her, but I couldn't shake away the fear from my mind because of the threat of the Holy Swords collection that we watched before the battle. It seemed like a record of battles between a person wielding a holy sword and a high-class devil. The devil that was cut by the holy sword had smoke coming out of the wounds made by the holy sword. Just like the word means, it actually vanished. A devil would be eliminated if they were cut by a holy sword. Their body will vanish. Kiba on the other hand had activated his sacred gear and there were several demonic swords around him. Are you laughing? Kiba was laughing so much that it felt unnatural, a smile that made the atmosphere cold. There wasn't any trace of the refreshing smile he usually has. That much do you hate the Excalibur that much? Yeah. The thing I wanted to defeat and destroy appeared right in front of me. I'm happy. Phew, I had even heard that by being close to a devil and a dragon, powers would gather. But for me to encounter it this early. Greg had said something similar as well. Lots of things will gather, being attracted to the power of a dragon. So this happened because of me and Dreg. No, it can't be. Sword birth, huh? The possessor can create any demonic sword they imagine in their head. It's unique among the demonic sword-related sacred gears. I heard that there was a subject that avoided from being disposed by the Holy Sword Project. Is that you? Kiba didn't answer Zenovia's question. He just directed his killing intent towards her. Hey. Killing is prohibited, you know. Kiba, I beg you to make sure that it remains as a match. If it gets beyond that, wouldn't it affect the relationship between devils and God? Mayu Surzich's Sama will also be troubled. Haidu Issei-kun. The one standing in front of me was Irina. The girl with the chestnut-colored hair, and all I can do is get into my battle stance. When I met the boy that I haven't seen for so long and he turned into a devil, I was shocked. She seemed really depressed. But that didn't give me a reason to let my guard down. I already said what I wanted to regarding what you said about Asia. So you better not hold back on me, Irina, even though we used to be friends back in the day. It was my opinion. There were things I wanted to say to the people from the church regarding Asia. There was a part of me that felt relieved saying it today. Well, if they said anything bad about Asia again, then I would fight them. I don't take other people talking ill about my new family. But Irina looked at me with a pitiful face. More like there was a single drop of tear falling down her cheek. A pitiful Haidu Issei-kun. No, I will call you Ice-kun since I knew you since a long time ago. And what trick has destiny played on us? I went to England because I found out that I can use holy swords, and I thought that I could be a representative of God. This also must be a trial that God has given me, the land that I haven't been back in for so long, a harsh destiny where my childhood friend has turned into a devil. The way time moves is harsh, but by moving forward, I will turn into someone with a true belief towards God. Now Ice-kun, I will give judgment to you with this Excalibur, amen. Even though Irina was shedding tears, she seemed really eager to do it and pointed her sword at me. Did she get drunk with her beliefs? Was she enjoying the situation? This girl you should never get involved with. Just be prepared. Boosted gear. Boost. It made a red glow and a gauntlet appeared on my left arm. It also made a sound at the same time and increased my power. If she did something before that, then I couldn't have done a thing. That was her first mistake. Irina and Zenobia seemed shocked after seeing my sacred gear. Longinus, is that a boosted gear? I never thought that I would meet the person possessed by the Welsh dragon in a far eastern country like this. Both of them raised their eyebrows. You will hurt yourself if your attention is on ice. Kun. Clash. Kiba went on slashing towards Zenobia. The holy sword and demonic sword made sparks. Zenobia smirked after blocking Kiba's strike. Sacred gear, sword rebirth and boosted gear. And also the twilight healing that Asia Argento has. All of them are sacred gear that are said to be a heresy to us. Maybe it was natural for you to turn into a devil. My power is also the power made by my comrades' hatred, who were killed while filled with regret. I will beat those with Excalibur with this power, and I will destroy that Excalibur. So Kiba also vowed the revenge of the test subjects that were killed by that project. Here I come, Ice Kun. Irina rushed in slashing towards me, making me activate OFA at 5%. I dodged her attack in time while letting my gear boost a few more times. Boost. I felt the power flowing through me, making me avoid another swing that I had to back away so that I can get enough space. Irina made a suspicious face at my actions. What are you thinking? Izuku, okay, it's time. I've already boosted enough, so keep it at 5%. I was about to get ready until. Please be careful. Senpai has the power to blow away the clothes of women he touches. What? Kaneko-chan said it while looking at me with rebellious eyes. Enemy of all women. You're the worst. What the hell, Kaneko? I told you that was one time, and yet you still used it. I just sighed internally. I can't blame them, partner. I mean, you were the one who created it in the first place. Tashinori, yeah, and it was a good technique for a distraction, hahaha. Izuku, honestly I can't even argue with you two at the moment. Tashinori, I hope you're keeping Nana at bay. Tashinori, oh yeah, I am. Don't worry about her, just worry about the looks you're getting. I cut off a link to see those judgment eyes. What a lowly technique, oh god. Please forgive this sinful pervert. Irina made a sad expression while praying. Don't look at me with those kind of eyes. You're the worst. I seriously, Kaneko. San, if you were craving for a woman's body, then you could have said it to me. I wouldn't mind sacrificing my body for San. Self-sacrifice? No, that's not the case. Man at Asia, aren't you saying something bold out of the blue for no reason? I see. The massive hex will desire. I think it's a fitting action for a devil that has such strong greed. Zenobia said it while making a sigh. But she was looking at me with scornful eyes. I'm sorry, I don't know why, but Kiba apologized to her. There's no need for you to apologize, man. Kiba created a demonic sword where he stood and held it. He now had two swords and went towards Zenobia. Now back to where we were. Burn and freeze, flare, brand and freeze mist. One of the demonic swords created a whirl of flames, while the other one made a cold air and silver frost. Kiba is a knight. Knight's traits are their speed. He was attacking with God's speed. But Zenobia was evading Kiba's attack, which came from all directions, with the minimum movements. The knight's swift move. And flame and ice demonic swords. But you are too naive. Hatching, a single swing of Zenobia's turned Kiba's two demonic swords to dust. Kiba became speechless because his demonic swords were destroyed with a single swing. What destructive power, so that's the holy sword. My sword is a massive destruction. There's nothing it can't destroy. Zenobia swirled around her sword. She then pointed it upwards, then thrust it into the ground. Ooh. Suddenly the place where I was standing shook and the ground was rumbling. I almost lost my balance, but I kept my footing in place. There were clouds of dust in the surroundings. There was even dirt flying towards me that I had to cover my eyes. There was a big hole at the place where Zenobia had placed her sword. With just one hit is caused that much damage just with one slash of the sword. Those Excaliburs are really something. When Zenobia stabbed the ground with her sword, it didn't seem like she had used too much power. This is my Excalibur. It can destroy anything that comes its way. It's not called Excalibur for nothing. Excalibur destruction. So the destructive power was on a different level. Even if it wasn't Kiba's demonic sword, it would get shattered. Kiba made a bitter expression when he saw that. Such a destructive power when it isn't a real Excalibur. So destroying all 7 swords will be a difficult path. His eyes hadn't lost the color of hatred yet. Kiba was trying to break all 7 of them. A single sword is that strong, and I know breaking it would be hard even for Kiba. Boost. Another boost. Geez, I'm all covered in dirt because you destroyed the ground, Zenobia. Irina wiped the dirt off her clothes while complaining. But it's about time to settle this now. She pointed her sword at me and dashed towards me fast, with me just smiling with a serious look on my face, filled with one emotion, anger. She closed our distance instantly, and so did I. Wix made her confused until she went to strike me down, but her attack was blocked. WHJX made her shocked, but she wasn't the only one. Ria's Akeno, Kaneko and Asia were surprised when they saw me holding a weapon on my hand, a weapon made out of darkness with bits of tendrils moving on its own, and all I can do was laugh. Izuku, I was surprised myself when I realized I should have looked outside of the box sooner, but right now let's see how you handle my Nikishimi. This katana that I somehow created while using my anger to activate Black Whip and focusing to shape it into what I wanted. This was my little side project that I've been doing for a while, and now it's finally done. It seems you still had a trick up your sleeve, and you are doing well. You're good at dodging. Seems like your master trained you well. My master is strict with my training, that's why I can even keep up with those stronger than me, plus my will to go beyond my limits. Boost. Let's go. Boosted gear. Explosion. Heartbeat. Now I'm feeling it, power surging throughout my body. I pointed my katana at her with a smirk on my face. Izuku, shall we have our dance arena? All she can do was go after me with the two of us clashing. It's not over yet. I started to keep up with Arena's movements, and it looks she's having a tough time with me getting the upper hand, but that wasn't the case. I can feel like the two of us are at a stalemate, but I still kept on going. Ice-kun is moving much better than usual. His speed is increasing along with how he uses his sword for the lecherous power inside him to increase his stats. This much, not to mention how much Heskapad paced with the Exorcists, is surprising. Hearing Akeno and Kaneko's comments, they both became amazed at my how I'm keeping up. ND were also shocked. What, you caught up with me? Arena looked surprised and went for another slash, but I blocked it just in time and pushing her back and running towards her fast enough to use my fist. Izuku, sorry about this 5% air shot, but before my attack can reach Arena she ducked down. With my air shot past her, it went through the barrier heading towards where Asia and Kaneko were, but since I didn't want to hurt Arena, the power room, the air shit was like a light punch. The bad news is that it's similar to dress break. Strip. Asia and Kaneko's uniform blew off. Yes, even their underwear. They both became fully naked. Asia's breasts that were still growing and Kaneko's lowly breasts became fully exposed in front of me. Drip. There was blood coming out of my nose. I messed up. No. Asia hid her body because she became too embarrassed. Kaneko, on the other hand, she still looked emotionless, but her body started to shake, and then she thrust her fist. Oh crap. Oh Kaneko, wait, you have it wrong. This was a mistake. I didn't mean for that to happen. I'm sorry. I said this while becoming pale. You super lecher. Bang. Doof. I received a heavy blow to my stomach that it made me get pushed back, but I kept my feet on the ground as much as I can until I held my stomach while kneeling on the ground. Poke. Arena poked me on the cheek. Ice-kun, are you still alive? I think that it was divine punishment for creating such a move. With this you should have learned that you have to seal lecherous techniques like that. Okay, but I didn't even use it to begin with. I then stood up and calmed myself. Izuku, don't think I'm giving up yet. You haven't put scratch on me, Arena, so I am gonna continue to fight and win. I used Ofa again at 5% and went after her. Arena held the grip of her holy sword and came rushing towards me. I lowered myself so I could kick Arena to make her fall from below as she was slashing towards me. Arena noticed it and did a small jump. I kicked the ground so I could get up fast and aim at her with an uppercut. Swing. My uppercut missed Arena's chin. Arena made sharp eyes. She then swung her katana to the side, but I avoided it by jumping backwards and used Bullsquip's tendrils to stop her katana with me smiling. Arena looked at me with a shocked face. I'm sorry. Looks like I was taking you a bit lightly. You have good movements and the way you used your katana was decent at best. All I did was laugh. Izuku, I appreciate your compliment, but you still haven't put a scratch and you almost had me if I didn't react quickly. And I was lucky if Danger Sense didn't back me up since the beginning. I would have been in big trouble and got a cut to my stomach or anywhere else on my person. If you didn't reacted quickly, the damage you would have gotten caused by the holy sword. Devils and fallen angels get their power and existence erased by receiving damage from the holy sword to their body. If it was a grazed, you wouldn't be in much danger, but deeper it would have been critical. Izuku, well, thanks for the bit of info on that. I then let go of her katana and stepped back. Reset. And just in time for the boosted gear activation to be finished. I also lost a boosted power within my body. My power returned to normal, so I turned off my gear. Arena looked at me with curiosity in her eyes. Arena, I must say, Ice-kun, you really know how to fight with that katana of yours. Izuku, I appreciate it, but are we still fighting? Arena, how about we call it a draw? She then got closer to me, Duel whispering into my ear. Arena, considering you still held back. She then smiled at me, and I just chuckled while feeling a deadly aura staring at him. Izuku, I can't catch a break, can't I? In your kind of situation, nope, not really. I just sighed while seeing Kiba's battle. Aye. Kiba raised his spirit up and tried to make something in his hand. It turned into the shape of a sword, but the destructive power of that holy sword or the destructive power of my demonic sword, we will see which one is stronger. What appeared in Kiba's hand was a gigantic sword. Kiba held it with both hands while releasing an ominous aura. It's big. It's way longer than Kiba's height. It definitely was more than 2 meters. Kiba then swung it with force. The slash reached Zenobia, but she made a sigh as if she was really disappointed. It's a shame. You made the wrong decision. Achin. The violent sound of metal. A large fragment of the sword went up in the air. It was Kiba's sword that broke. Zenobia's Excalibur easily destroyed Kiba's demonic sword. Your weapon is the variety of the sword you can create and your speed. You would need a lot of strength to swing a gigantic sword like that, and you will lose the speed that you are proud of. Are you seeking a destructive power? From your fighting style, it's something unnecessary. Don't you even know that? Bang. The pommel of the holy sword hit deep into Kiba's stomach. It was a simple move like that, yet it created a shockwave. It meant that even a single attack with a pommel has destructive power. Aha. Kiba fell onto the ground after he vomited from his mouth. Even if it's not a hit with a blade, that hit just now will be enough to stop you from standing for a while. Zenobia glared at Kiba once and turned around. Wait. Kiba reached his hands towards her, but everyone here knew that the match was over. A Kendo unsealed the barrier. The red aura that covered the area disappeared. The battle was over. Senpai, I suggest you fight with coolness the next time we fight. Ria's Gremory, I trust you with the talk from earlier. Also, you should train your servants a bit more. There's a limit for polishing their battling style. Kiba glared at Zenobia with hatred. Zenobia then looked at me. I will tell you one thing. Vanishing Dragon has already awakened. Izuku the White One is awake, huh? You will meet him eventually, but in your current state you can never win. Zenobia just said that and left after picking her stuff. Izuku. Did she assume I'd lose easily? Partner, don't let get under your dragon skin. Izuku, I know that, but my pride will be avenged, just not now. Wait for me, Zenobia. Then it's like that, Ice-kun. Tell me whenever you want to get judged. Amen. Irina held her cross and winked at me. She then left the scene. Rias closed her eyes. I'm sure that she didn't feel good. Well, Kiba was ultimately defeated. My battle was a stalemate between me and Irina. Izuku, things are really gonna be fucked up. Toshinori, hey, young Midoriya. Izuku, what's up, Tashi? Toshinori, you better stay awake. Izuku. Oh, fuck. Chapter 41. Izuku's POV. Are you okay? Asia said that wearing the spare uniform she had in the old school building. She was wearing it because I blew her clothes away earlier. All I did was smiled at her and patting her head, making her lightly blush. Izuku, don't worry, Asia, I'm fine, sir, a bit fatigued is all, but I think I did something uncool in front of you. I said it to Asia while laughing. But Asia shook her head. I'm glad that you're not hurt. I was really scared thinking Ai-san might have vanished. Izuku. Sai, I need to make sure I can handle 100% of OFA, or better yet I need to utilize boosted gear to make it seem I can use 50% of OFA when it's actually 5%, and I need to train Black Whip more. Imagination training can work for that. I'm sorry for blowing your clothes off. I apologized sincerely. I don't want to be a burden to them, but Asia just smiled at me. There was a plan that you were thinking about, right, Ai-san? I am fine with anything Ai-san does for me. I couldn't help but chuckle. She really knows how to make me smile, but it was forced, something I've been doing for a long time, hiding what I truly feel. You might have won and breaking the tie if you did another boost with the sacred gear. Kaneko said it while massaging my shoulders, but she was doing really rough. Kaneko was also wearing a spare uniform just like Asia. But this is something I've never heard from Kaneko before, and she was right. If I had done another boost it would have helped, and if I had used Black Whip 2 to capture her, I would have won as well, but I didn't. Not knowing it means you lack practice and real battle experience. Geez, hurtful much I have experience, just that this perverted mind is blocking the well-deserved knowledge of my former life as Izuku Midoriya. Hold on, Udo. I heard Butchu's voice. When I looked, there was Kiba, who seemed like he was trying to leave, and an angry Butchu. I won't forgive you if you leave me. You are the knight of the Gremory group. I will also be troubled if you turn into an exiled. Wait this instant. I was able to run away from there, thanks to my comrades. That's why I have to put their regrets into my demonic swords. After saying that, Kiba disappeared. Udo, why? I couldn't look at Butchu's sad face. At the same time I made up my determination. And? What was the reason for calling me? The next day off. I called Kaichu's pawn, Saji, in front of the train station. Saji seemed listless. I somehow managed to get in contact with Saji thanks to Butchu. He's right. What were you two trying to do? The one who was holding onto my shirt and wasn't letting go was Kaneko. I met her by coincidence when I was on my way to meet Saji in front of the train station. I tried to run away, but I was caught easily. Well, it couldn't be helped. She didn't seem to like the fact that I tried to run away after I saw her face. So she was not leaving in terms of observation. I think she's holding a grudge against me because I stripped her naked a few days ago. The reason why I called Saji. That is, I coughed once and told both of them. I'm going to ask Shidu, Irina and Zenobia to give me permission to destroy the holy sword Excaliburs. Not only Saji, but Kaneko also became really shocked that they had circle eyes. Ooh, I'm going home. Saji was screaming and trying to run away. Kaneko held onto him and didn't let him go. When I suggested the plan to destroy Excalibur, Kaneko thought about it and agreed. I will help as well. It's about Yudo-senpai, right? As expected of Kaneko, Saji on the other hand turned blue and tried to run away immediately. And Kaneko caught him. Hi, do why me, it's your group's problem, right? I belong to the house of Citri, I shouldn't take part in this, not at all. Saji argued while crying. I just laughed awkwardly while sweat was pouring from my head. Don't say that, Saji. The only devil that I know who seems willing to help me is you. Bullshit, there's no way that I will help you. I'm going to get killed. I'm going to get killed by Kaichu. Duo, the fear you have towards Kaichu is appearing on your face. Kaichu must be really scary, huh, but on the inside she's just shy in her way. Ashinori, you're doubting yourself. Izuku, can you blame me? Your master, Ria-senpai, might be strict and kind, but you know what? You know Kaichu, she's strict and strict, yeah. Butchu is strict but also kind and easily to tease. So Kaichu is strict, huh? That's good for you. After I made up my mind, I went looking for Shido Arena and Zenovia inside the town with Kaneko and Saji. Hey Kaneko, you know that Kiba is a victim of the Holy Sword Project and also harbors a grudge towards Excalibur, right? Kaneko nodded at my question. When Arena and Zenovia came to us, they said this. The church decided that it would be better to eliminate all the Excaliburs rather than letting them be used by the fallen angels. Our minimum objective is to get the Excaliburs away from the fallen angels. So in other words, they have to destroy the stolen Excaliburs or retrieve them, right? Yes. That's right. That's why I thought we could help them retrieve those. By making Kiba the main person. 3 swords were stolen, so they won't mind if we retrieve or break one of them. You want Yudo-senpai to overcome Excalibur and to fulfill his wish, right? That's right. I nodded my head with a smile. If that happened, then Kiba would accomplish his revenge and everything would be okay. Then he would continue doing the devil's job with us with a smile. That's what I thought, but that kind of plan won't be easy and I can feel it, but if this doesn't work I'm going to plan B, but that to myself. Kiba wants to win against Excalibur and accomplish his and his former comrades' revenge. Zenovia and Arena want to retrieve the Excaliburs from the fallen angels, even if they have to destroy them. We have the same aim then. What's left is to see if those two will listen to the words of us devils. It seems hard. Yeah. It was just like Kaneko said. To tell you the truth, the possibility of it happening wasn't that high. And also, it's a secret from Butchu and the other members. Yeah. It was just like she said. We couldn't let this to be known by Butchu and Akeno-san. Butchu would definitely disapprove. Even if it's for Yudo's sake, we can't put our neck in the problems involving angels. That's what she would say. She is a high-class devil after all, so she would be strict about this stuff. When I went to rescue Asia, she was against it. I also had to keep it a secret from Asia. She's the type who can't hide things. She'd be bad at lying as well. When we go and talk to them it might lead to a fight and the tension between us and them might get even worse. It would be the end if that happened. I would have to do something even if I had to risk my life. Ooh. I might die then. That's why you can leave, Kaneko. Saji. You can also run away if it gets dangerous. Let me run. No, that's the worst. I'd get killed by Kaichu. If I do something like destroying the Excaliburs without her permission, she will definitely torture me. I just sighed. Maybe the negotiation will be a success. If that happens, then I want you to help me. Why, that's so irresponsible. I'll die. I'd definitely get killed. You're right. But there aren't any other male devils that I can talk to. I'm depending on you, Saji. I won't run away. It's for our comrade. Kaneko said it to me with eyes filled with strength. This girl, no matter what she says, she's always burning inside. She was also in high spirits in the match against Phoenix. I think her feelings towards comrades are very strong. 20 minutes after looking for them in the town. It wouldn't be easy to find 2 women wearing white robes in an undercover mission. Please give blessings to the lost lamb. Please give charity to us on behalf of the Father in heaven. We found them easily. There were 2 girls wearing white robes, praying on the road. Wow. They were standing out. It was easy to find them. It looked like they were quite troubled. People walking past them were giving them odd glances. How can this be? This is the reality of the developed country of Japan. That's why I don't like countries that don't have the smell of our beliefs. Don't say that, Zenovia. We lost all the money we had. So we have to rely on charity from these heretics or else we can't get food, you know. We can't even buy a single loaf of bread. HMPH. It all happened because you bought that fake-looking painting. Zenovia pointed at a painting of a saint that was drawn really badly. What the heck was that? Did they get cheated in a fake exhibition? What are you saying? This painting has the drawing of someone who looks like a saint. That's what the person in the exhibition said as well. Then do you know who the person in the drawing is? I certainly don't. The person in the picture certainly looked like a foreigner and was wearing poor clothing and had something on his head. There was also a baby angel on the background with a trumpet who was floating in the air. I think it's Saint Peter. Don't mess around. Saint Peter wouldn't look like this. No, he must have looked like this, I'm sure about it. Ah, why did my partner have to be someone like you, God? Is this also a trial? Hey, don't hold your head down. You really get depressed when you are down, don't you? Shut up, that's why the Protestants are called heretics. You guys have different beliefs than us Catholics, show more respect to the saints. What's wrong? It is Catholicism where they still abide by the old law. What did you say, heretic? What did you say, heretic? Those two started to argue by banging their heads against each other. Rumble. Then we heard the sound of their stomachs rumble when we were a distance away from them. The two of them dropped onto the ground with their stomachs rumbling. First of all, let's do something to fill our stomachs. Or else it's not a matter of retrieving the Excaliburs. You're right. Do you want to get money from the heretics by threatening them? I think God will forgive us if we threaten the heretics. Do you plan to attack the shrine? Or do you plan to steal their effervescent box? Don't do either. Let's use our swords to put on a performance. It's an international entertainment that works in every country. That's an excellent idea. If we can cut fruits with our Excaliburs, then we can gather cash. Well, we don't have fruits. It can't be helped. Let's cut that picture. No, you can't cut this down. The two of them started arguing again. I went towards both of them even though I was getting a headache. Seriously. They didn't seem like the girls I had an argument with in the clubroom just a few days ago. Izuku ... what the fuck? Ashinori, I'm on the Smay boat with you, young Midoriya. This is confusing as fuck. Chapter 42. Izuku's POV. Delicious Japanese cuisine is delicious. Yes, this is it. This is the taste of the food of my homeland. Irina and Zenobia started to fill their stomachs with the food they ordered at a family restaurant. Man, they eat a lot. Are they really assassins sent from the Christian church? When they saw us earlier, they looked at us with hungry eyes. We are going to eat now, so do you guys want to come as well? When I asked them, they said okay straight away. We sold our souls to the devils. This is also to accomplish our mission. They were saying something like that while we were on our way here. I was worried about my money, but Kaneko-chan said she would also pay. It's not manly if I make a girl pay, especially since she is my junior. That's what I wanted to say, but after seeing these two eating, I would be in deep shit if we didn't pay together. This is also for the club. It's for our group. Damn you, Kiba, I'm going through all of this shit for you. I'm definitely going to make Kiba introduce me to one of his hot clients. Phew. Now I'm calm. It's the end of the world to get helped by a devil. That was what Zenobia said. Hey. We are treating you to food and that's what you say. I said it while holding down my emotions. I couldn't talk to them with strong words. Otherwise we couldn't negotiate. Thank you for the meal. Ah God, please give charity to these devils. Irina said while using her cross. Oh, at that moment I got a headache. The same thing happened to Kaneko and Saji, so they were touching their head as well. Seems like us devils received some damage because she used her cross. Ah, I'm sorry. I did it without thinking. Irina smiled with a cute face. These two look like a bishoujo if you look at them normally. Zenobia drank a cup of water and took a deep breath. She then asked. So, why did you come to us? I see, got right to it. Well, it didn't look like we met them by coincidence. You two came to this country to retrieve the Excaliburs, right? That's right. We already told you that before. Both of them didn't seem like they were giving us hostile intent because they had just finished their food. There was no point battling us in this family restaurant, and even if we did battle they were confident that they could beat us with ease. I want to help you destroy the Excaliburs. Both of them looked surprised at what I just said. They were also looking at each other. This might turn into a battle between angels, fallen angels and devils. To think about it, the Excaliburs are supposed to be quite an important thing. And to destroy that together with devils like us might be an insult to them, perhaps. I was getting worried about things like that when Zenobia opened her mouth. Yeah. Maybe it's okay leaving one sword to you guys. If you can destroy it, that is. But make sure that your identities aren't revealed. We also don't want our high-ups and enemies to think that we are connected to you guys. I just opened my mouth because I didn't expect that she would give us permission like that. Is it alright? Are you serious? For real? Hey Zenobia. Are you sure? Even if it's Ice-kun, he's still a devil, you know. Irina raised an objection. Well, that's the normal response. Irina. To tell you the truth, it would really be tough to retrieve the 3 Excaliburs and to battle Kakabiel with only the 2 of us. I know that. But the minimum objectives we have to achieve are destroying the 3 Excaliburs or take them back. If our Excaliburs are going to be stolen as well, then we should break them before it happens. Even if we use the last resort, there's only a 30% chance that we will succeed in our mission and return home safely. Even so, we thought that the success rate was high enough to come to this country prepared to put our life on the line. Yeah. The high-ups also told us to continue with our mission as well and dispatched us to this country. It's almost self-sacrifice. And isn't that what we, the followers, desire for? I changed my mind. My beliefs are flexible. So I can act in the best way. I have been thinking about it for a long time, but your faith is a bit weird. I won't deny it. But I think that it's our duty to accomplish our mission and return safely. I'm going to live and continue fighting for God. Am I wrong? You're not wrong. But that's why we won't ask for help from the devils. Instead we ask for help from a dragon. The high-ups didn't tell us not to borrow the strength of a dragon. Zenobia then looked at me. Dragon, she was talking about me. The being that is residing in my left arm, Sekiruyute. I never thought that I would meet Sekiruyute in a distant country like this. Even if you turned into a devil, I see that the dragon power within you is still present. If it's like the legend says, then you can increase your power to that of a Mayu, correct? If you gain a power to that of a Mayu, then you can break the Excaliburs without a sweat. I also think that it was God's doing that we had this meeting. Zenobia said joyfully. See, certainly they didn't tell us not to borrow the power of a dragon, but you are just saying nonsense. Your belief is certainly weird. Weird is fine with me. But, Irina. He's your childhood friend, right? Let's trust him. The power of a dragon. Irina became silent at Zenovia's words, but her expression showed that she was okay with it for now. The possibility of me boosting Enoi to increase my power to be Arahat if Amayu is Restore Slim Plus with Ofa, and not sure I still have that little project I need to use to see if I can achieve it. But if I transfer my power that I boosted to the max to Kiba, he can be equal to or surpass Excalibur. Okay. The negotiation is a success. I will lend you guys my dragon's power. Then can I call my partner for this cooperation, then? I got my phone out and called Kiba. I understand the situation. Kiba put his mouth on the coffee after he made a sigh. We called Kiba to the family restaurant. I'm with those two Excalibur wielders. I want you to come here as well, Kiba. When I said that, he came here without any complaint. To tell the truth, I feel unsatisfied when the wielders of the Excaliburs are giving me the permission to destroy it. That's a rough way to speak. If you were a stray devil, I would have cut you down without any time to spare. Kiba and Zenobia glared at each other. Izuku, hey, save your fighting some other time, right now we're here cooperate. So you do hold a grudge regarding the Holy Sword project? Against the church and the Excaliburs. Kiba sharpened his eyes at Irina's words. Obviously. He replied with a low and cold voice. But Kiba-kun. Thanks to that project, the research on Holy Sword users showed results. That's why it created people like Zenobia and I who can synchronize with the Holy Swords. Do you think it's a forgiving act to kill all the test subjects because the project was thought to be a failure? Kiba looked at Irina with eyes filled with hatred. Certainly killing them is cruel. It's too cruel. I think that it's an inhuman act for those who believe in God. Even Irina didn't know how to respond. Then Zenobia spoke. That incident also became one of the worst cases among us, and people felt disgusted about it. The person in charge of that project at that time was said to have a problem with his belief. So he was charged with heresy. Now he's one of those people on the fallen angel's side. On the fallen angel's side. What's the name of that person? Kiba took interest and asked Zenobia. Alba Galilei. The man who is called the genocide archbishop. Alba. So that's the name of Kiba's enemy. If I go after fallen angels, then can I reach him? Kiba's eye had the color of a new determination. Just knowing his target was a big step for him. Then it looks like I have to share information as well. The other day I was attacked by a person who had the Excalibur. At that time, he killed a priest. The one who was killed is probably from your organization. Everyone became surprised. Obviously I never thought that Kiba would have been involved before us, so why was he quiet about it the whole time? I'm sure that he had something in his mind. The name of that person is Fried Zelzen. Does this name sound familiar? I suddenly let out a bit of bloodlust that caused my fellow devils and the Exorcists to pale a bit. I calmed down. Izuku, sorry, it's just that hearing that name brought some memories that I locked away in my mind. Zenobia and Irina both made sharp eyes at Kiba's words. I see. So it's him. Fried Zelzen. Former exorcist of the Vatican. The genius who became an exorcist at the age of 13. He had lots of big achievements because he kept on eliminating devils and mystical beasts. But he overdid it. He even killed his allies. Fried never had any beliefs towards our god from the start. The only thing he had was fighting instinct and killing intent towards monsters. And an abnormal obsession for battles. It was a matter of time that he'd be charged for heresy. Ah. So you guys also have had problems with him. Is that so? Fried used the Excalibur he stole to kill our fellow followers. For us to pay the price because the disposal group couldn't take care of him that time. Zenobia said it with hatred. Fried sure is hated by lots of people. Well, obviously. Anyways, let's move on to the cooperation strategy. Zenobia took out a pen and used it to write on a memo pad. She gave us her contact details. If something happens, call this number. Thanks. Then we should also. We already received Ice-kun's number from Obasama. Are you serious, Mum? She gave it without my permission. She told her son's number without my permission. Why don't you call him? She probably gave her my number like that because we are childhood friends. Then that's it then. I'll repay you for the meal another time, Sekurute Haidu issei. Zenovia got up after saying that. Thanks for the meal, Ice-kun treat me again next time as well, even if you are a devil, God will allow it if it's Ice-kun who treats me to a meal, it's okay if it's food. Irina thanked me while giving me a wink. Is it alright for your religious belief to be like that? We sent the two of them off and we all gave out a deep breath. It somehow went smoothly. I know it was a reckless plan, but it was easier than I thought. I felt chills when I thought that I might have gotten cut down by the Excaliburs if I'd failed in the negotiation, but I'm not taking any chances to get injured by those things. It could have been the trigger for the war between the devils and people from God's side, that was quite a bold move for me. Ice-kun. Why did you do this? Kiba asked me quietly. He was certainly wondering why I was helping him out with his revenge. Well, we are comrades. And we belong to the same group. And you helped me out before as well. I thought I would give you a hand this time. If I act by myself, then I would cause trouble for Butchu. That's also the reason, right? Of course. Butchu would get sad if you were to go around in a rampage. Well, the fact that I made this plan by myself will cause trouble to Butchu as well. But it's better than you becoming an exiled, right? Well, it turned out to be a success, since we made an agreement with those guys from the church. Kiba still didn't look satisfied. He's quite hard to deal with. Then Kaneko spoke. Udo-senpai. I would get lonely if senpai disappeared. Kaneko put on a sad face. She is usually unemotional, so the sudden change had a lot of impact on all the guys here. I will help you, that's why, please don't go. Kiba seemed troubled, but then put on a smiley face. Hahaha. I give up. If Kaneko-chan says that to me, then I can't do reckless things. Okay. I will work with you. Thanks to Ice-kun, I know who my true enemy is. But since we are doing this, we are definitely going to defeat the Excalibur. Though Kiba was eager to do this as well, now Kaneko smiled because she felt relieved. Okay, now we have formed the group to destroy the Excalibur, let's defeat the stolen Excalibur, and that shit freed. I said it with a serious look on my face, no matter what happens we need to do this for Kiba's, and also for Ria's. Do I have to do it as well? Saji asked us while he put his hand up. I mean, I'm totally uninvolved in this after all, how are Kiba and Excalibur related? Oh yeah. This guy didn't know about Kiba and Excalibur. To Saji, he probably didn't understand what was going on in the earlier conversation. Let's talk a bit. Kiba then started to talk about his past after he drank the coffee. The project that the Catholic Church planned secretly. Project Holy Sword. The test to make lots of people who can use holy swords was taking place in a certain institute. There were boys and girls who had talents at using swords and a possessor of sacred gear. Day after day, they were going through inhuman experiments. They were being experimented on and had their rights of freedom taken away. They weren't treated as humans and their lives were ignored. But they had a dream. To live on. They were forced to believe that they were loved by God and they were just waiting for that day to come. They believed that they would become special beings. They believed that they could become people who could wield holy swords. But the result was disposal. Kiba and his comrades couldn't use the holy swords. Everyone died. They were killed. Killed by those who serve God. No one saved us. Just because we couldn't use the holy swords. Other boys and girls were put under poisonous gas while still alive. They put poisonous gas on us while saying amen. We vomited blood and suffered on the floor. Even so, we were seeking help from God. Kiba told us his story. We listened to him silently. Kiba somehow managed to escape from the laboratory, but the poisonous gas had already infected him. Apart from certain people, the test subjects who had lower abilities than average were all disposed of because they weren't needed. Kiba, who managed to escape, met Butchu, who came to observe Italy as he was dying. And now he was here. I want to accomplish my comrades' regrets. No, I don't want to make their deaths be in vain. I need to keep on living in their place, and I have to prove that I am stronger than Excalibur. What an intense past he had. Asia also had a sad past. But Kiba had been going through a life that was so hard to imagine. Sigh, all these past pain. They have Kiba's then Asia's. It won't be surprising if Hesra about the other club members' past. But I think it's hard to live on, just for revenge. Butchu said that she made him her servant so he could use his talents on something besides defeating holy swords. Ooh, sob. We were listening to Kiba's past with serious faces, but we heard someone crying. It was Saji. He was crying aloud. He had so much tears falling out of his eyes and was crying so much. He also had a dripping nose. Saji took Kiba's hand and said, "Kiba, it must have been horrible, it must have been painful, damn it. There isn't any god or hope in this world. Right now I feel so much sympathy for you, yeah. It's a horrible story, I understand why you hold a grudge against those people from the church and Excalibur. To tell you the truth, I didn't like you before because you were a good-looking guy, but it's different now. I will also help. I'm willing to receive the punishment from Kaichu. But before that we have to destroy Excalibur. I will also work hard. You also have to live on. Don't ever betray Aria's senpai who saved you." I couldn't help but smile seeing how Saji is willing to help while getting emotional. "Okay, it's a good time. I want you guys to hear my story. You guys should know about me if we are working together." Saji seemed a bit shy, then said it with glittering eyes. "My dream is to make Kaichu pregnant and marry her, but, you know, making a girl pregnant and marrying her is hard for an unpopular guy like me. There aren't any girls that I can make pregnant to begin with, but I will one day make her pregnant and marry her." After hearing Saji's confession, there was something inside of me that felt like it's about to release. Izuku, well, if he's like that, might as well let out the perverted side for the hell of it. "Saji, listen to me, my aim is to grow Butchu's op eye and then suck it." Drop. After a pause, more teardrops were flowing out of Saji's eyes. "Iao, do you know what you are saying? Do you understand how hard that dream is, to touch the high-class devil's op eye, to touch the op eye of your master? Saji. You can touch it. You can touch the high-class devil's op eye, you can touch your master's op eye." I actually groped Butchu's op eye with his hand. I said it while moving my hands. Saji looked at my hand with a shocked face. "Impossible, something like that is possible, you are not lying, right? It's not a lie. Master's op eye is far away. But it's not like you can't reach it. Sucking Kaichu's op eye, you are talking about the nipple, right? The place where you can suck is the nipple, right? Dumbass, if you are going to suck op eye, then the nipple is the only thing you can suck. Yes, I'm going to suck the nipple." Saji started to cry like a man after hearing my strong words. "Saji, we may be useless pawns if we are just by ourselves. But it's different if it's the two of us. We can fly if it's the two of us, we can fight if it's the two of us, we can do it if it's the two of us, we can make them pregnant and marry them if it's the two of us. Let's have hex with our own masters, yeah? Yes, nothing is impossible if it's two guys who fell in love with their master's op eye." We took each other's hand and nodded. "Comrade. War buddy. Even if I use many words, I can't explain the relationship between us." At that time Saji and I felt something with our spirits and we connected with each other. "Ahaha. You're the worst." I couldn't help but laugh. "Izuku, come on, you know how I express myself besides." I got close to them. I said something while whispering. "Izuku, it's better to have a positive atmosphere than a dull one." I said this while laughing. Kiba and Kaneko, who were next to us, sighed. If I'd looked around, everyone in the restaurant would be looking at us with weird eyes. Well, don't mind them. Like this, the Excalibur destroying squad was formed. Chapter 43. Izuku's POV. A few days later. I was sitting at my desk in my classroom, sighing heavily. Every day the four of us, me, Kiba, Kaneko and Saji, searched for the Excalibur. Our opponent was that shit priest Freed who worked under the fallen angels. Apparently, he was hunting down priests sent by the church. So we wandered around the town dressed in priest's outfits but still couldn't find him. We were wearing the priest outfit that Zenobia gave us that kept our magical power down, but still couldn't encounter him. Where was that shit priest hiding? I wanted to find him so Kiba could destroy the Excalibur. At this rate, we would get caught by Butchu and get into deep shit. She had started getting suspicious of us. "I'm sorry, Butchu, for doing something like this without telling you. I will apologize to you a lot afterwards. I will work hard as well. That's why, please let us do this." Like that I was apologizing to her within my heart. "You have a serious face lately, Ice," Motohama said to me while fixing the position of his glasses. "Eh? Yeah, kinda. Even I have to think about certain things sometimes." "Is it that? Were you thinking about groping Ria senpai's op eye or Himejima senpai's op eye?" "I always have a hard time choosing that every day, Motohama. By the way, in terms of size, Butchu wins. Butchu also wins in terms of fullness. But in terms of softness, Akeno-san wins. No, Butchu has more meat, but Akeno-san's ones has good balance with the op eye and the areola. So it reminds me of something like Yamato Nadeshiko in terms of having fun. Groping Butchu wins. But Akeno-san's op eye is also big. If you keep on doing that, you are going to get killed by senpai's worshippers one day, you know. There are many of them at this school. Motohama op eye is more important than life." I said it with a lot of enthusiasm in my voice, making Drake sigh internally. "That's deep." I felt a shock in my heart. Pinch. There was someone pinching my cheek. It's Asia. She seemed like she was in a really bad mood. "What are you doing?" Asia was pinching my cheek without saying a word. But it did seem like Asia, because she wasn't pinching me hard. She must have heard everything I just said. "Damn it, Ice, you Irodai, you have violated the occult research club, and not only that, but you also received that kind of treatment from Asia, Chan-oo." Itsuda was spitting out his anger at me while holding his head down. "We know, Ice. Apparently you link your arms with Ria-senpai and Asia-chan after your club activity, don't you? Are you trying to go home while having two flowers in your arms? You should get blown away to a different dimension and get melted by slimy monsters. Oh poor Motohama. It's not as simple as you say. That's because Asia and Butchu are competing with each other for some reason, that's why I feel awkward, since I am in the middle of it, more like there isn't any space to breathe when I'm between them. By the way, Ice. What are you going to do about the plan for karaoke and bowling? Motohama asked me after he reverted to his usual self. We were planning to play for half a day during the next weekend with the three of us, Asia and Kiryu. We had also invited Kaneko and Kiba. Asia and Kiryu were coming. Surprisingly, Kaneko was eager to come as well. I thought that she would decline for sure. The problem was Kiba. I had talked to him, but it was this situation. Asia and Kiryu are going. So is Kaneko. Ooh, Asia-chan and Taoju Kaneko-chan, I can put my tension up with this, Mitsuda shouted. Oh, he's even shedding tears. It seemed as if he was craving to talk with girls. I'm sorry Mitsuda. I'll keep on moving ahead of you. That's because I spent my everyday life with bishoujos. But there were also difficult things in it as well. Smack, there was someone who smacked Mitsuda on the head. It was the girl with glasses, Kiryu. I'm sorry for going as well. She made an unpleasant face. Phew. You are just an extra of Asia-chan. We already have a person wearing glasses, and that's Motohama. Well, it's alright. What's with that attitude, Mitsuda? Don't put me in the same group as that perverted glasses. He will just taint our group. This woman Motohama's glasses are special because it can calculate the BWH of girls. He's different from you. But Kiryu just smirked after hearing Mitsuda. Did you actually think that he is the only one with that ability? All of us felt uneasy. Kiryu then looked down at our crotch. I see. I felt something dangerous, so I hid my crotch with both hands when I looked. Motohama and Mitsuda had done the same after looking at our reactions. Kiryu's glasses shone. Fufufu. My glasses can calculate the size of guys' thingy. From length to circumference. What a terrifying ability. Then does Kiryu know the size of all the males' important parts in our classroom? I started to shake because for some unknown reason I feel like I'm back in my lab. Who was experimenting on me? I was getting scared. But Kiryu put her hand on my shoulder and smirked. It's okay. Your size is quite big. In fact, I would say it's a perfect size. In fact, you still need a certain size for it. Yes, Ria-senpai and Asia would definitely be satisfied. I just pinched the bridge of my nose and sighed. Izuku, you gonna make things complicated? Kiryu, oh, what do you mean? I got close to her, which stopped her from saying anything else with me placing my face close to her ear. Izuku, you'll start to make me want to ravage you. I stepped back to see her smiling. Good for you, Asia. Asia became confused with Kiryu's words. Geez, it can't be helped. I'm saying that Haidu's stingy. Kiryu whispered into Asia's ear. Izuku, hey, that's enough, you had your fun. I pulled Asia towards me to guard her. This girl is something else. Her being perverted isn't the only quality she has, it's her way to get out of a situation. I like that. Anyway. Then everyone except Kiba-kun is going, right? Kiryu changed her attitude quickly after she realized that she couldn't continue this conversation. No, I will try to make Kiba come as well somehow. He did say he would come as well before, after school on the same day. We gathered in the park and changed to the priests and sisters' clothes after finishing our normal club activity. The crosses we were wearing were fakes. We walked around town in these clothes. We walked mainly in places where there weren't any people. I seriously wanted to get some leads today. Though I was thinking that, time went by quickly and now it was already evening. We would get in trouble if we didn't return soon. This action was kept secret from Butchu and the others, and it would also be troublesome if we got caught by the student council. Phew. No progress today as well, Saji said as if he lost interest. Saji was the one who was most eager to do this. He was really a nice guy. Our first meeting wasn't that good, but it seems like we can get along. He's perverted at the same level as Saimi. You can say that he's the Citri group's version of me. I was thinking like that, but Kiba, who was walking in front of us, stopped his feet. Udo-senpai. Kaneko also seemed like she felt something. Heartbeat. That instant I felt chills in my body along with danger sense flaring up. I know we were being watched. Bit, where was it aiming at us? Look up, Saji shouted. When all of us looked up, there was a white-haired boy priest falling down with a long sword. Something like a divine protection for the group of priests. Hachin. Kiba took his demonic sword out quickly and blocked Freed's slash. Freed, is that voice you, Ice-kun? Well, isn't this a weird reunion? How is it? Has your dragon power increased? Is it alright to kill you now? This bastard has a crazy attitude like always, so the sword he's holding now is the Excalibur. I can certainly feel the dangerous aura coming out of it, just like Arena's and Zenovia's. We took off the priest clothes, revealing our usual uniform. Kaneko also took off her sister's outfit. Boosted gear, full cowling 5% boost. My power increased along with full cowling. My duty this time was to support, so I transferred my power boost to Kiba. I wanted Kiba to fight as much as he could, but I would have to help if it got dangerous. Stretch my line, swish. Something that looked like a skinny black hand left Saji's hand and headed for Fried. On his hand, there was a cute-looking deformed lizard face equipped. The line was coming from its mouth. Then that skinny hand was the tongue of the lizard. Such a pain. Fried tried to knock it away with his holy sword, but the lizard's tongue changed its direction and went downwards. It stuck onto Fried's right foot and it started to swirl around his leg. Fried tried to cut the tongue off with his swords, but it went past as if the tongue didn't have any physical form. You can't cut it that easily. Kiba with this he can't escape, beat him down. Good work Saji, I see. He stopped his movements. Fried has fast legs. It's a good idea to stop him from escaping. You have a sharp head, Saji. Thank you. Kiba rushed in quickly. He was going towards Fried with 2 demonic swords. So it's not only the holy eraser, I see, having multiple demonic swords. Are you the possessor of sword birth, perhaps? Wow. You are guilty of having a rare sacred gear, you know. Fried seemed like he was enjoying it, which was the opposite of what he was saying. So he was still a crazy battle freak like always, but normal demonic swords can't put up a challenge against Hachin. Kiba's 2 demonic swords broke after making a sound of a crack. By Excalibur-chan. Pooh. Kiba once again created demonic swords. But it seemed like the Excalibur was too powerful. It could break the demonic swords in a single swing. Kiba, do you want to receive my power? I can still go on. Kiba declined my support. It seemed he was quite ticked off. Well, that was to be expected. Kiba already lost to Zenovia's Excalibur once already. His pride probably wouldn't allow him to lose the second time as well. Ahaha, the way you look at my Excalibur is scary. Do you perhaps hold a grudge against it? Well, I don't know what happened to you, but if you get cut by this, you can't avoid being eliminated without a trace, you know. You will die, you know you are going to die, just die. Fried jumped. Kiba tried to block him by making the demonic swords appear around the area. But Hachin, the holy sword, which was covered in white blue light, broke Kiba's swords in a single blow. Fried did his second strike without any moment to spare. I gotta think faster. Kiba was going to get killed, but then I felt something like I was being lifted up. I looked down timidly, and it was Kaneko. Senpai. Please help Udo-senpai. Bro. I got thrown with a lot of power, making me a human projectile. I got closer to Kiba as I screamed his name. Kiba, I will transfer my power to Yao. Biwise-kun. I activated my sacred gear as I approached Kiba. Transfer. It made a sound and the dragon's power went into Kiba. There was an aura coming out of Kiba's body. There was quite an amount of magical power covering his body. I have to use it since I received its sword birth. And there were blades coming out around the whole area from the ground from the light pole. There were different shapes of blades popping out from different places. Gee. Fried made a noise with his tongue and then started to break the demonic swords going at him. Swish. Kiba disappeared with his demonic sword as soon as he found an opening. He used the demonic swords as a platform and moved around freely. Wow, with my eyes, I could only see something moving left and right. That's to be expected from the knight with speed. Fried was following Kiba's movement with his eyes. Swish. Along with the sound of the wind, there was a demonic sword heading towards Fried. Kiba threw one of the demonic swords when he was using the demonic swords as a footpath. No, it's not just one demonic sword. There were several demonic swords coming from every direction. You had that is a good circus trick, you rotten devil. Catchin. Fried knocked away the demonic swords one after another with an expression of excitement. My Excalibur is Excalibur rapidly in terms of velocity, it won't lose to anything. The holy sword that Fried held started to vibrate at the tip and then disappeared. It meant the holy sword was moving that fast. Fried destroyed all of the demonic swords and then rushed towards Kiba. Hachin, it's not working. The demonic swords that Kiba had in both hands crumbled. Die. The moment Fried's sword was going downwards at Kiba, pull. Fried's body was pulled back and he lost his balance. Like I would let you. It was Saji. The lizard pulled its tongue back, which made Fried lose his stance at the same time. The lizard's tongue made a shallow light. It looked like it was coming from Fried and going into Saji. This is shit. Are you absorbing my powers? Absorbing, is that one of Saji's abilities for his sacred gear? How's that? This is my sacred gear absorption line. As long as this line is connected to you, your power will continue to be absorbed by my sacred gear, until you lose your consciousness, that is. But if that's connected to you, you continue to have your power absorbed and you can't even cut it with a holy sword. Dragon type sacred gear, is it? The most troublesome type. The initial ability isn't that much of a threat. But when it grows, the destructible power surpasses other sacred gears on a whole different level. Scary. Man, it is such a nuisance. Fried tried to take it off again with his holy sword, but there wasn't a scratch on Saji's sacred gear. Is it the type you can't damage with physical swords? And that lizard is a dragon type. But it's not the time to be complaining, just beat that guy. The problem with the Excalibur can come after that. This guy is seriously dangerous. Just standing in front of him makes me tremble. If we leave him be, he will also cause harm to me and Kaichu. I will weaken him by absorbing his power with my sacred gear, so take him down at once. Saji suggested a plan. It was a good plan indeed. I also thought that was the best method. This guy was seriously dangerous. It was better to finish him here. But Kiba put on a complicated expression. I knew the reason. He was regretting because he couldn't win with his own power. But Kiba should have also understood that it would be beneficial to finish him off now. Kiba created a demonic sword as if he had made his determination. I feel reluctant, but I also agree to finish you off here. There's still 2 more Excaliburs that were stolen. I will have to hope that the other 2 are strong. I'm stronger than the other 2, you know. So the moment you 4 beat me, there aren't others who will put up with you guys, are you sure? If you kill me, you won't have any holy sword battle that would satisfy you. Freed said it with a disgusting smile. Kiba's eyes also changed after hearing that. NGGGGG. He was such a nuisance, this Freed was. Sword birth, huh? It's a sacred gear that can have an infinite number of powers depending on the possessor. Then there was the voice of another person. When I looked that way, there was an old man wearing priest clothes standing there. Is it you, old man Balba? Everyone became shocked at Freed's word. Balba isn't Balba the guy who Zenobia was talking about. The one who disposed of Kiba and his comrades during the Holy Sword project, just like the Excaliburs. What a fateful meeting. Balba Galilei. Kiba glared at the old man with eyes full of hatred. I certainly am. The old man admitted it normally. So this guy was Kiba's enemy. Freed. What are you doing? Old man, I can't run away because of this guy's weird lizard tongue. HMPH. You still can't use the Holy Sword perfectly yet. Use the element I gave you more wisely. I'm researching because of that. Gather the holy element that is running throughout your body to the blade of the holy sword. With that, you should be able to cut it. Yeah. Freed's holy sword had started to gather auras and started to glow. Like this Horya. Cut. Saji's sacred gear was cut with ease, and the only thing that was holding Freed was gone. This was bad, he was going to escape. I will be escaping now, the next time we meet will be the time of our ultimate battle. Freed said that, but I won't let you escape. There was someone who went past me with a very fast speed. Tachin. There was a blade clashing with Freed's holy sword that was igniting sparks. It was Zenobia. Yahoi's-kun. Irina was also here as well. Ooh, the partners of our cooperation were here. Freed Zelzin. Balba Galilei. Rebels. I will cut you both down in the name of God. Don't say the name of the hateful God that I hate, you bitch. Freed and Zenobia exchanged swords, but he took something out. It was a ball of light. That was the item used for escaping. Old man Balba, we are escaping, we are going to report to the boss, Kakabiel. There's no other way. See ya, the alliance of church and devils. Freed threw down the ball of light on the ground. Izuku, no. I tried to capture him with Black Whip fast as I can, but flash. I couldn't see anything, the light covered the whole area and blinded our eyes. By the time we regained our sight, Freed and Balba were gone. Shit, we came all the way here and we lost track of him. Izuku, damn it, we are going after them, Irina. Okay. Zenobia and Irina nodded at each other and sprinted from here. I'm going after them too, I won't let you escape, Balba Galilei. Hey Kiba, geez, wait. Everyone was doing whatever they felt like. The ones who stayed behind were me, Kaneko and Saji. We loosened our battle stances and took a breath, but I couldn't let them go 9N by themselves. I went to full coal wing again at 5%, but I felt the presence of someone behind me. When I thought that the flow of power was irregular, this is certainly troublesome. I turned around after hearing a familiar voice and, ice. What's the meaning of this? Explain. Butchu and Kaichu were standing there with serious faces. All I can do is sigh. Izuku, fuck. Destroying Excalibur. You too. Butchu didn't have a pleasant face, and she put her hand on her forehead. After the incident with Freed, Butchu and Kaichu took the 3 of us, Saji, Kaneko and me, to the nearby park. Then we were forced to do Caesar in front of the fountain. Saji. You were doing something like this behind me? You truly are a troublesome child. Oh, I'm sorry, Kaichu. Kaichu was also talking to Saji with a cold expression. Saji's face became so blue that it was dangerous. He must have been truly scared. So Yudo went after that person called Balba. Yes. I think he's with Irina and Zenobia. I think that he's going to call us if something happens. Do you think Yudo, who became an Avenger, would call us normally? I'm just hoping he will, but Butchu then looked at Kaneko. Kaneko, yes. Why did you do this? I don't want Yudo-senpai to go away. Kaneko told her true feelings. Butchu looked confused rather than angry when she heard that. Saying this when it has already happened won't change anything, I guess. But what you two did could have affected the world of devils. You understand that, right? Yes. Kaneko and I nodded our heads at the same time. We understood that very well. No, we didn't know how serious it was. I was acting while thinking that there was a bit of danger involved. So the scale of this case that Butchu imagined and the one I imagined are different. Seems like I was taking it too lightly. I'm sorry, Butchu. Kaneko and I bowed our heads. I didn't think she would forgive us with this, but I had to. I'm truly sorry, Butchu. Slap slap. When I looked at the direction from where the sound was coming from, Saji was there getting his butt spanked. Izuku ... Oh boy. Toshinori, well, good luck young Midoriya. Breg, you will be missed. Nana, please have a safe trip while going spanked. Izuku, what the hell, I'm not going to get spanked by Rias, you crazy fools. Toshinori, and what if she does spank you? Izuku ... I'm not a masochist. Toshinori, I didn't say you were, but thanks for admitting it, since I've been concerned when you can take all those blows from your former life. You were a secret masochist. Izuku, please stop. Nana, oh Izu, if you wanted pain all you had to was ask Emi. I cut them off while my head was bowed. Please give me strength for this night, sweet Satan. Looks like you need to reflect on your behavior. And I'm sorry, please forgive me, Kichao. Number 1000 spankings. Slap slap. Aichu was covering her hand with demonic power. He was getting spanked with that hand. Hey Ice. Don't look away. I sent my familiar to search for Yudo. Let's go to him with the rest of the club members when he is found. We will decide what to do from there. Okay, yes. Hineko and I replied to Butchu's words. Hug. Butchu pulled us to her and hugged us. I could feel Butchu's warmth. You two really are stupid children. Making me worry so much. Butchu said it with a gentle voice while she patted me and Kaneko's head. Butchu, I'm sorry. To make you worry about us, I'm glad I'm her servant. To have a kind master like her. Biwei and Kichao, they finished with a good atmosphere. They are them. We are us. Slap slap. It looked like Saji's spanking wasn't going to end anytime soon. Looks like making Kaichu pregnant and marrying her is really far away. Now Ice. Show me your bottom. Izuku ... What? Ria smiled with her hand covered with a crimson-colored aura. It's the master's duty to discipline their servants. You're also getting 1000 spankings. That day, my ass died while hearing the laughter of 2 OFA users and an red dragon with me screaming. Chapter 44. Izuku's POV. By the time Butchu and I arrived home, the sun was setting, it was almost nighttime. We parted ways with Kaneko along our way home. She was apologizing to Butchu until she left. But she seemed like she didn't regret it. Same as me. Also Kiba, he followed those guys, but he should be safe, right? And most of all, my ass hurts. I felt the love Butchu has towards her servants with my own butt. Oh, don't feel bad, Ice. I looked at her with my eyes squinted. Izuku, I'm gonna get payback, so you better keep your eyes open, Rias. Rias, oh, is that a threat from my cute servant? I just smiled, making Rias a bit uncomfortable at the way I was smiling. Izuku, it's not a threat, but it is a promise. That's all I said, and we continued to my home. We are back. Once Butchu and I took our shoes off and were about to walk the hallway, Mum showed her face from the kitchen. She then waved her hands at us, telling us to come silently. Mum for some reason has a lecherous face. Butchu and I looked at each other and went towards the kitchen. I'm here, Asia-chan. Oh. Asia leaped forward as if she was pushed by Mum. Asia was wearing an apron. That's what I thought, but it was different. I think her skin was exposed more than it should have been, and no, this is… What? That was all I can say since my mind was processing what's in front of my eyes. A friend of mine in our class told me that you have to wear nothing under the apron when you work in a kitchen in Japan. It's embarrassing, but I have to get used to Japanese culture. Asia said it with a red face. Rip. There was blood coming out of my nose that I was trying to cover up. This girl, she had started to become an erotic girl because of Butchu's influence already. Who on earth told her something like this? Asia, who told you this? Yes, my friend Kiryu-san. Of course I'm not wearing my underwear, it feels cold. Oh. She's not wearing underwear. Asia told me something I didn't even ask for. She was definitely becoming an erotic airhead girl. I'm not saying her airhead nature is similar to Najira's, honestly, and more shocked that I got away with her almost landing on me when I always accidentally cop a feel, but when I heard who give her that idea I just sighed. So it was her, perfect. That damn Kiryu, so she's the main culprit behind all this. I mustn't impressed, but this needs to stop. If it doesn't, then I might do thing with a bit of torture. I thought of this leaving Toshinori, Drake, Nana and the other OFA users who are sleeping to sweat drop. Yufufufu. She looks cute in it, doesn't she? I'm definitely supporting these things. I remember when I was young. What? Oh no, what are you saying? You did something like that with Dad? Yeah, you guys definitely Issei's parents, no wonder he got this much perverted. I see. So there was a strategy like that, but you said with a regretful voice. I don't like where this is going. Asia, you can become a real devil. You really are a lecherous girl. I don't want to become a lecherous devil. But you smirked, and Asia replied with a troubled face and teary eyes. What is going on in here? Wait a bit. I will also do the same. Asia. You have done well by making the first move, but you turned around and left the scene quickly. Wait, Rias, and I will also help. Mum went after Butchu. Hey, what are you guys doing? What's going on? I don't understand the situation. I put my hand on Asia's shoulder while blood dripped from my nose. Asia. Yeah, it looks good on you. I will just say that for now. Thank you. Thank you very much. I thanked her a couple of times. Asia looked shy as well. It's only the two of us, so I should say what I wanted to now. Asia, why yes, even if those guys from the church come, I will protect you. I will drive away anything that scares you. I told Asia my feelings. I won't forgive anyone who points their fangs at Asia. I don't want to lose her ever again cause if that happens, I don't know what I would do. Asia then hugged me silently. She was hugging me while not having anything under the apron that it made me blush. I don't regret turning into a devil. I also haven't forgotten my faith to God. But I have gained something more important than my feelings to God. Something important, But you-san. Everyone in the club. School friends. I-san's Otu-sama and Oka-sama. Everyone is important to me. I don't want to lose them. I want to be with them forever. I don't want to be alone anymore. Asia said it in my arms with a small trembling voice. She was always alone. God didn't help her. Others didn't help her. I will not let Asia be alone. I will never let her be alone again. Asia, you aren't alone. I will never let you be alone, we will be with you. Hahaha. It might not be good, but I will always be with Asia. That's why you can't cry. So smile. A smile suits you the best. I said this while smiling at her. I'm glad I came to this country. I met with I-san. I-san. Asia put her face in my chest with a sweet voice. So I also hugged her and my hand stopped. Asia's back was fully exposed. She's only wearing an apron to cover the front, so she had nothing to hide her back. My heart was racing until I looked down at Asia. Her white skin looked so silky. I want to grind her skin, but the good heart within me is stopping myself from continuing, and all the hawk blocking I can't take it. When Asia looked up at me with ski innocent like eyes, I felt a string within my mind snapped. Small I'm warning ko. Izuku Asia, whatever happens I'm sorry. This got her confused until she felt something touch one of her cheeks, that it made her blush. I continued playing with her butt and pushing her to the wall, so that she won't escape. My eyes turned emerald, and I got close to her neck taking small bites that it made her squirm. The way she made such noises brought my face close to hers. Izuku Asia. Asia I-san. The two of us got closer until our lips met. I felt that Asia was inexperienced, so I took the lead making her comfortable, while the two of us kissed our bodies, grinding each other, enjoying ourselves, until we released our lips to catch a breath and then bit down on her neck, making her moan from the action that I did with her grabbing me and holding me tightly, feeling her legs almost giving out. I can't think straight. I want her. I want to ravage her, let her know she's mine and mine alone. I felt my teeth becoming sharper and my hands forming claws. Izuku Asia, I need you now. That's all I said, with Asia lost in thought and can only nod her head. But before we can continue more, small I'm ending. I got kicked out. Ria-san got embarrassed. Mum returned and looked at me and Asia with a smirk. This brought me out of my instinct-like state and going back to normal. Well-ish. Mum, oh my. Looks like the old granny got in your way. It's okay, you know. The kitchen is also a battlefield. It's not a problem to do it as long as you clean the mess, you know. I really want to see my grandchildren soon. I took a step back from Asia and left the scene. I almost lost myself because of my urges, and now it's heightened even more because of my sacrifice with my battle with Riser. I need to figure out a way to not let my instincts tack. I have also warned. I heard Butchu's voice, so I turned around. Nosebleed. More blood came out of my nose. Butchu appeared in an even more erotic apron than Asia's. The apron just covered the important parts. It's something that you can just understand that it's an apron. Now Asia. We will start cooking with this. Why yes. Both of them stood in the kitchen, but it was basically nude from behind. Growled, damn it, if these girls continue like this, I'm gonna lose it. After that, Dad returned from work and he also had blood coming out of his nose. So the father and son sat together and had tissues inside their nostrils. Daddy is blessed. All my stress from work disappeared. Yeah, me too, Dad. Somehow I can forget all the sad things now. You have to make both of them your wives, my son. Then both Ria-san and Asia-chan would become my daughters. Hahaha. I will do my best, Otu-sama. We had a conversation of father and son while putting on a really happy face. While on the inside I'm fucking crying. Izuku, Nana, for the love of Satan, back off. The reason why I'm shouting is because I'm chained from the wrist to my ankles and Nana wearing a leather S&M dress, making me squirm while seeing Drake and Toshinori both holding candles. Izuku, guys, stop fucking around and help me. Toshinori, Izuku, if you give her what she wants then you won't have to deal with her pestering you. Izuku, I am not doing that cause I know what she wants and she's NKTKGING to get. Not even Himiko achieved it, so hell no. Drake, what exactly do you want from my partner Shimura? Nana just chuckled, which made me, Toshinori, and Drake sweat. Nana, what I want is to peg him. I want to peg him so hard that he'll beg me to stop, but I'll continue fuck his tight little hole and fuck him until and satisfied. That what I want your little hole, Izuku-kun, I've been craving it, I want it, give it to me. Izuku, you see what I mean, that's why I said no, so help me. Toshinori. Drake. Toshinori, Drake. You need to get pegged. This made me pale even more when I saw Nana with a giant D in her hand and my teeth were trembling and all I can do was scream. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.